Vertigo Tea Party.
Raven.
Maddragon.
Icebear.
And welcome to the VideoGameLads Podcast.
That was good. We had a
That
good
was
range
good.
there.
That was perfect.
We had
That
like
was amazing.
2 whole octaves contained with 4 people. I think that was solid. One take as well.
Yeah,
I
that
hope
was
people
one
enjoy
take.
that
Amazing.
because that was about 10 minutes of prep. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
All right, so now that the
Quit
Video
my
Game
job
Lads
for
podcast
that,
has been
so-
introduced, let's discuss what we've been playing. One game that we've been playing. Icebear, go ahead.
Antichamber is like the only game I've been
That
playing,
game's
'cause
weird.
I've been busy. Sure is. I was kind of trying to rush through it. Well, I mean, it's kind of one of those games anyway. But
Russia.
Yeah,
Maddragon, you gotta give him what for. Am I right? Those rushes.
I haven't actually finished it, but basically,
You're not doing a very good job
it
at
starts
rushing.
You start out with an hour and a half timer to complete the game, so I assumed that that I would need to do it in that run. But thank God, it just came up with a message after that time saying "run by your own clock, not other people's," and I was like, "You're right. I won't go into work today. I'll just play Antichamber." That didn't happen.
No, that's tomorrow. That's happening.
Yeah. Well, I'm not working tomorrow, so
It was a joke.
you're a joke.
Hey, oh wow, I'm offended.
You're going to break the band up.
God damn, I can't deal with these crazy people.
Surely we would have like the fallout in the barbershop quartet kind of thing. So like, I'm sick of your shit. Oh,
I
you're
don't know
such
who
a
you
drama
are
queen.
anymore.
I'm done with
mother's a whore.
this.
You didn't do it in quartet style, but
That's good enough.
I tried to do a barbershop quartet, but
Hey, we need
Oh,
another
Raven,
10 minutes of
it's
prep
not
if we're
the
going to do
same,
that.
Which is presumably going to be the tragedy of the inevitable split, is that we'll try and harmonize with ourselves, and it just won't work out. Anyway.
30 years later, we'll get the band back together for one last gig.
Top of a
that's
rooftop.
the idea. And then all 4 of us will drop dead afterwards. Like in, what's its face?
The Beatles?
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not... never mind. I won't tell you. It was probably Ghost. So Antichamber, yeah, I've been enjoying it to a degree, but some of the puzzles do get a little bit...
That
No,
game
you
is
kind of-
really what the fuck, and the whole
yeah.
puzzles seem like it's what the fuck.
It's quite trial and error, and to be honest, 90% of the time I am just stumbling onto the right answer to a puzzle rather than actually coming up with it. Well, maybe not 90% of the time, but a lot of the time I'm just stumbling through this thing, which is, okay, I guess, because
That's, in my
quite
opinion, that's the
unique in the way
worst
it's
feeling in a puzzle game, because you don't get that, oh, yes, that's how you do
Yes,
it moment.
yeah.
I think that's the worst bit, yeah, but that's a shame. You can't get the aha.
It could just be because I'm dumb, but the clues are always cryptic, and
You know, no, I think you've got it in reverse. The game, like from what I've seen of it, and Let's Plays and reviews, which are actually quite a lot considering I haven't played it, it's a very weird and dumb game, and I think you're too smart and you're thinking about it in like a very logical way, and it's an illogical game, and I think that's where you're messing up.
that's true. The problem is that I am too smart.
Exactly.
Let's go with that.
Exactly. Yep.
That's correct. So yeah, I mean, sure, it has the whole weird perspective thing, and things change when you turn back to them, and it has the cryptic clues and stuff, and the philosophical messages embedded throughout. But I mean, the real issue with it is that I'm just too smart for it. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. Has anybody else here played Antichamber?
I have not. I have seen pictures.
See,
It's a very
but,
minimalist game.
Seen some pictures.
I sure done did.
Maddragon.
No, I haven't played it. I've heard of it, but
Okay. Maddragon has heard of it. I mostly enjoy it. It will be in a bundle somewhere. It's worth picking up.
It's probably
I think I
been
got
in
it
like
a bundle.
7.
It was in Humble Indie Bundle 11, according to the recent news on Antichamber, which is actually from February. But yeah, no. I like the idea of trying to have a bit of a sort of weird puzzle game. It's not got any outright poor design choices in it, and there are multiple pathways as well. So if you get stuck with a certain puzzle, you can just press escape, which takes you back to the main room, and then you can try to progress from a different end. And it's pretty regularly, like every puzzle basically is a checkpoint, and there are some puzzles that you feel clever, and it is cathartic when you solve them.
That's good.
But it is quite trial and error, and sometimes it's a little frustrating, especially the puzzles that involve basically having to get cubes to go into certain slots to break these laser beams, which allow you through doors onto the next area and stuff. Because it's kind of... If that was all Antichamber was, it wouldn't be a very good puzzle game, because that's like the conventional side of things, and it's a bit dull. Whereas what Antichamber, does best anyway is just being a bit weird and trippy, and sort of tries to mess with your head a little bit.
Yeah.
So
that's actually something I thought was
weird, that it has a blend of like very quite unoriginal and uninteresting like vanilla puzzle solving, I guess.
Yeah.
But also combined with the whole weird exploration based thing, which I kind of loved a lot more when I was starting the game out. And
so
there was stuff like if you like with the red stairs and the blue stairs, you can keep going and it will just lead back to the same room, whereas if you turn back on yourself, it takes you somewhere different to where you had been when you went down it the first time and stuff like that.
So what I'm getting from this is like Antichamber. Do you think it would be better if it went all the way in with like this is a Portal game, like minimalistic art style, in first person, you have a gun that does a gimmick, or WTF, what the hell, this is all illogical? Do you think it'd be better if it went to either extremes, or what?
Yeah, to be honest, it's like it would be at best an okay puzzle game if it basically had the Portal shtick to it, which is where it just has the gun that solves puzzles in a certain way, and you've got to just follow those through. I don't think I'd be very interested to play another game like that right now. But the only thing with Antichamber would be that I suppose if you went the other direction and were just trying to sort of freak people out a little and confuse them, and almost like a maze basically, you'd want it to be more about exploration, and that's not necessarily suited to the art style, I guess.
It seems like it has a lot of. It seems like it'd have a lot of interesting mechanics in terms of like puzzle solving through moving out the world. Like that seems like it'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it would be fun to see where that went, because like the first few puzzles, like I say, where you're doubling back on yourself and stuff, and there's a door that closes when you look at it, so you got to walk through it backwards, and there is this section that is a maze where you have to go through it a certain way, otherwise it'll just keep leading you back to the same point and stuff like that. And those tend to be the more interesting parts.
Yeah.
And then there's conventional puzzles, and they're sort of a bit boring, and they tend to be the ones that I'm stuck on for longer as well. So yeah, it's all right.
Antichamber. Pick it up in a bundle.
I would call it a good game. I think it would be unfair to dismiss it as like just a mediocre game for everything that it attempted and accomplished. But it is held back by its sort of, the fact that it sort of clung to the traditional puzzle format in some way.
Yeah. So that's it?
Yeah, I could probably drag it out for another hour, but
You don't have to. We've got more than enough stuff to cover an hour.
The thing about video games is...
Back when I first started playing video games,
we didn't have any chambers or an anti.
We didn't have these graphics and crap that you kids talk about.
We played them with punch cards and we liked it.
Yeah. First would come 1, then 0, then another 0, then 1. Okay, there we go. I think that's... Yeah, let's move on.
Maddragon, what have you been playing?
Yes. What have I been playing?
What single game have you been playing?
What single game? What one game?
What one game? One game.
This
have
is
you
going
been
to be
playing?
difficult. This is always difficult
What
for me.
of your children is your favorite?
This week I'm going to pick Toukiden on the Vita.
Never heard of it.
Toukiden. Never heard of it, really?
I've heard of the name, but I've never actually seen anything of it.
It's a Monster Hunter style game, basically. Of which there are quite a few on the Vita. Which are, it's good for the Vita. Like Toukiden, though, it's made by the same people, I think. Let's have a look. Who do Dynasty Warriors? Yes.
Koei?
Omega Force.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Made by Omega Force, published by Tecmo Koei. It's like a Monster Hunter style game where you go out, select a mission in the village, go out, defeat monsters, gather materials, and then create weapons and armor from them and stuff. But it's set like with sort of like Japanese samurai sort of theme to it. So like that sort of art style, similar
That's
to
pretty
Dynasty
cool.
Warriors, Samurai Warriors, that sort of thing. It's really good. I'd just been playing some last night, so that's why picking it is fresh on my mind as well.
Yeah. I love the
it
whole
is
Japanese art style of like traditional Japanese
Yeah.
like culture and stuff. It looks really nice. It's
It's
always
a
the
bit
worst
different,
though when
yeah.
they're like in translation they're like, "Ah, yes, here we are in America eating our rice balls."
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck?
My favorite. This is slightly off track, but that just reminded me of this time when my little brother was playing something like Ace Flight Combat or something like that. Some like £5 bargain bin flight sim fighter game where you fought as the what was it? It was you were fighting as the peaceful nation of Ameria versus the oh god, what was their name? Oh, against the evil Ostovakians. That was it. That was awesome.
Wow.
I loved that. Oh, it was Estovakians. That's right. Yeah, same difference. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Toukiden. It's a Monster Hunter style game. It is pretty good. It's different to Monster Hunter in terms of the combat of it. It's
Would you say
less
it's good
strict.
for like someone who hasn't played any Monster Hunter games at all, or
Probably,
no?
yeah.
Okay.
I'd say it's easier to get into because one
Okay.
thing, Monster Hunter or most Monster Hunter games, you got to be very precise with your actions, your attacks, and dodging, and when to use certain items and stuff. Whereas Toukiden, it feels a lot more action, RPG based. Even though Monster Hunter is technically an action RPG, it is.
ARPG
You
is
got
a
like a
horrid
lock on.
genre.
You got like a lock on, in the camera. Whereas in Monster Hunter, they've only recently introduced that, and even then, it's a little bit iffy in Monster Hunter, I think.
Oh yeah, because Monster Hunter is for the 3DS, where they only have the one analog stick.
Yeah, but with the 3DS Monster Hunter, they use the touchscreen, like a virtual D-pad, which works really well. So that's the only reason I haven't bought a CirclePad Pro for my XL is because the touchscreen works perfectly fine for the camera.
Oh, okay.
But
In Kid Icarus Uprising, you have to use the touchscreen for the camera. It's just, it's terrible. Hand cramps.
yeah, I mean,
The
Kid Icarus, that was a good game, but
It
I
is a
didn't
good game,
feel
except
like I
for the
enjoyed-
gameplay.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't enjoy it at the time I had with it.
Did you sell it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you
Yeah.
really didn't enjoy it that much. Like, my favorite...
Didn't
I
even
think...
make the shelf.
Yeah. Like, my favorite part about... Like, Kid Icarus Uprising has fantastic music, great graphics, like, amazing graphics for the 3DS, like, some of the best that I've seen, like, right up there with Resident Evil Revelations. And it also has great writing and all that stuff. It's just... Then the gameplay is shit. It's like, what the fuck? You messed up the most important aspect of a game.
The thing is with that Kid Icarus, though, I mean, that's not even what the original game was like, gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a platformer, wasn't it?
I
thing.
Something like that.
Yeah.
They make references to the original Kid Icarus, which I find hilarious. they bring up like the sprites of the NES and saying like, "Wow, she's really changed since the last time we saw her." Because it's from 8-bit to full 3D. Fun.
There's
It's
only
great.
like 2 games, isn't there?
Yeah, there's literally only 2.
Yeah.
There's Kid Icarus on the NES. There's Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS. That's it. So that's all on Toukiden, or however you pronounce it?
Toukiden, yeah.
Toukiden.
I mean, if you're thinking of getting into like, one of the monster hunting style games, it's a pretty good one to go for. It's less. It seems more easygoing when it comes to stuff like the crafting of weapons and armor for like grinding for materials and stuff. The gameplay, it seems a little bit more. How can I put it? Smoother to get into.
Yeah.
Less of a learning curve for it.
That's good.
It is good though. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so that brings it to me. Now, I have a question before I go into the game that I play, but has anyone here... Okay, so Vertigo, I know you've played Final Fantasy VI, Maddragon, you've played...
All of them.
Basically. Icebear,
Yes.
have you played any Final Fantasies?
No.
Yeah, aha, Maddragon, see? It's not just me.
I am disappointed in you. I really am.
Exactly. So, about the last time we recorded the podcast, so about 2 weeks ago, I hadn't played any Final Fantasies. I had owned Final Fantasy 13 on PS3 for ages, though. I don't know why I bought it. But yeah, I hadn't played any
Hey, you
Final
don't get
Fantasies.
to do a job lot of Final Fantasies if you've done them all in the intervening time. You still only get one.
Yeah, so after that podcast, I don't know why, but I got the craving for Final Fantasy. I just wanted to play some Final Fantasy. And so basically over the past 2 weeks, I've been playing nothing but Final Fantasy VII. I've got 37 hours on it in the past 2 weeks, and I'm not even done with it. Christ almighty, it's a good game. I've done basically all the side quests there are that add story. So I haven't done the Emerald or the Ruby weapons or the Ultimate weapons because I just don't care about it. Literally, my least favorite aspect of the game is the combat because the riding and everything else is just that good. So the combat is still great. I think the combat is fucking amazing. It's probably, like, I haven't even played that many turn-based games in general. Like, I've played Pokemon, Paper Mario, and that's basically it. And those aren't even, your traditional JRPGs that are turn-based. So, as like my first introduction to it, I'm amazed at how much I do enjoy it. So, Vertigo, what did you think of Final Fantasy VII? Did you play it? I know you played 6 and you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I got a couple hours in the 7 where you get to that first town. I think you get on the train, you go to that first town and all that.
Yeah.
It was all right. I mean, it's hard. I wasn't far enough to really make a judgment. But with console games, I just have a very hard time finishing them, even if I like them. Because I'm like, I just kind of forget about them, or I'm like, I'm already on the PC. I'll just play that instead.
Yeah,
so I never really play on the console that much, so it's hard to stick with it.
Yeah, that's actually the same with me, because I mean, like I said earlier, I have Final Fantasy 13 on PS3. I've had it for ages. Yeah, I haven't even actually put the disc into the PS3. But now that I've got Final Fantasy 7 on Steam, just been playing that non-stop, and it's great.
Yeah, that's going to kind of happen with Dead Rising 3, because I love that game.
Yeah.
And I actually have a lot of hours in it. But
have you already purchased that?
Yep. I have it on the Xbox One. I got it release day.
No, I mean
and
for
I
Steam.
pre-ordered it
Did you
on PC? Yep.
Yeah, you pre-purchased it. Yeah, okay.
Damn right I did.
It's like 25% off. It's like, might as well.
Yeah, it was during the summer sale. It was pretty discounted, and I trust Capcom to do a well enough port. And there's no real
Capcom is great at PC ports. Like, now basically since Lost Planet or Resident Evil 5, they got really good. Like, what have been their bad PC ports since then? Like, I guess the netcode in Street Fighter is meh, but aside from that, like, the actual performance of the games is amazing. Like Devil May Cry 4, DMC, Resident Evil Revelation 6, 4 actually got a decent PC port, and it is the definitive version of Resident Evil. Like, it's crazy how good their PC ports are.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah, recently.
But like Devil May Cry 3 apparently was.
Yeah.
abysmal.
I played through that last year, I think, on PC, keyboard only and all that, and it was pretty bad.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You played Devil May Cry on a keyboard? That's insane.
Setting up the gamepad is more complicated than fucking rocket science, okay? So I'm not even going to try. Because I tried plugging in an Xbox 360 controller, but the right stick was the one that moved you around, and you had to use and so you still had to use the face buttons. And there was like no real way to make the left thumbstick be the one that moves. So you had to use hold the controller in a really weird way if you wanted to be able to move and also attack.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like someone saying that soup, that spoon was impossible to use. I'm just gonna eat this soup with my hands.
Well, no, but it was way easier on keyboard than trying to use the controller, because it's just WSD to move and then IJKL for the face buttons essentially, and that's
I'm not
really
sure I
it.
can picture that. But okay. If you say so.
IJ is triangle and square respectively. K and L is K is X and L is circle. So that's basically it. And you only really used I and J because L is the fuck is L used? It's style. That's right.
So you don't really turn on the style.
No, I'm not really good with the styles. Well, I do, but not enough. I just use Swordmaster and yeah. So Final Fantasy VII, really good game, and I want to finish it. I've been I wanted to finish it before this podcast, but Sephiroth is a massive dickhead. Maddragon, do you have any advice for me on how to beat Sephiroth? It's his third form. Also, don't say grinding.
Is that his final?
The third form is his penultimate form, but his fourth form you can't actually beat. It's one of those, it's impossible to lose fights, so it's essentially his final form.
Just grind. Really.
I knew you'd say that.
Just grind.
Okay, I'll grind.
Spend hours and hours grinding on normal enemies until you're level 99.
But see, the thing is, I looked up a walkthrough, and the higher your level is, the more HP Sephiroth will have.
So it just scales with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So grinding will make the first two forms easier, but his third form will still be an incredible annoyance.
So it all just comes down to what tactics you use and what spells and...
Yeah, who the hell uses tactics in a
material
JRPG? It's all about grinding.
Of course. But, I'm surprised you got to the end so quick, though,
And I was actually I was actively seeking out side quests though. I did all of Wutai, I did Vincent and meeting Lucrezia, and all that stuff. Basically, all the story stuff.
Yeah, but it's from my memory of playing through Final Fantasy games, namely 7, 8, and 9. I specifically I remember being on Final Fantasy 8. I think on the third disc, and there's 4 discs, and I was already at 50 hours, I think.
Jeez.
Something like that.
It was I haven't played Final Fantasy 8, so I don't even know how it's going to be. I might be like that as well, because there's a lot of content in Final Fantasy 7, and that only has 3 discs, and 4 has...
there's a lot
8
of
has
content
4.
You probably haven't done either. Because there's all the, you got the weapons.
The weapons I'm not doing. The chocobo breeding I'm not doing because it's dumb and tedious.
That is probably the most time consuming.
Chocobo breeding.
Breed all the chocobos, you got to breed them and then race them and breed them again. So you can access
and then if you get the wrong one, you've got to reset the entire game, and you've got to level up all your materials. And then there's and then your reward is a gold chocobo, and what is it? The Knights of the Round, which is a 2-hour-long summon. Which is a problem I'm having with the game right now, is that summons are taking forever. Specifically Sephiroth's. It's 2 minutes long, and he casts it all the time.
God. They're meant to be like that. You're meant to enjoy them.
It's his attack. He's trying to kill me. Why should I enjoy that?
Well, enjoy your death. Enjoy your demise.
No, see, that's the thing though. The summon shows him destroying Mercury, Pluto, Jupiter, all these planets, and then it comes up to me, and it blows me up, yet it never kills me. It's literally impossible to die from, because it takes off a set percentage of your health, so it always makes sure that you live. Yet, there's an enemy that I know of that's just outside the final boss area, because I was there when I was trying to grind, and he has this little knife, and he holds this dinky lantern, and he can stab you. Yeah, that's that guy. I think that's his name. I remember.
He walks slowly towards you and then instantly kills you or something.
Yeah, exactly. He stabs you in the lower thigh, and then it's instant death. But a weapon that can destroy planets doesn't. What the fuck? It makes
Your
no
only
sense.
weakness is stab wounds to your thighs.
Exactly.
As a child, as children, all of the characters were like dipped in a well, in a sacred well, by their thighs, and then they did like the end of their legs, but not all the way up their thighs. So there's a section of their thigh that they didn't dip in the well, and that's the section that they die from if they get stabbed.
That's their weakness.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I'm really enjoying Final Fantasy VII so far. Hopefully I can beat it before I reach the 50-hour mark, because literally all I'm going to be doing is trying to kill Sephiroth. The fight is just so annoying because it takes like 30 minutes just to get him down to like halfway health.
So when you finish that, are you going to move on to number 8 as well?
As soon as I get my payment from Machinima, I'm going to be buying Final Fantasy VIII, but I'm going to probably be taking a break from it and saving it until I have, until the next school holiday, basically. So just so that I can
really
dedicate 8 weeks to it, and then I'm going to do that again with 3.
Yeah.
So I think I found it
on PC. It's 3, isn't it? Yeah.
3, 7, and 8 are all on PC. 15 is totally coming to PC. Has to.
Well, 13 didn't.
Good.
Yeah, no. Well, 13.1 was okay. 13.1 was good. The only thing I hated about it was the combat system was complete arse, but 13.2 improved on the general gameplay, but everything else was complete crap, the story and the characters and stuff. And I'm not even going to mention 13.3, because it's... No.
Maybe they'll fix it in 13.4.
Oh god, no, please don't joke. Do not joke.
I love your reactions to that. Just ugh. Anyway, yeah, so Final Fantasy, good. Vertigo, what have you been playing?
I finally finished up last night. Actually, I finally finished Watch Dogs.
Yay!
And, yeah, I know, right? It's amazing. Let's see. I think I ended up. It's going to be like 90 or 100 parts at 20 minutes apiece. So yeah, it definitely has a lot of stuff to do, and I
definitely
do
does
everything. But yeah, it's.
Can you do everything? Because isn't a bunch of it tied to online as well?
Yeah, some of the PvP stuff, but it's kind of sectioned off on its own.
Yeah, but you get like
trees.
100. No, I think it's part of the main trees, like online hacking and stuff.
Well,
like in the progression thing.
Yeah, the progression. Well, the progression
like where it says 100%.
Oh, yeah, I don't really.
That's what annoyed me because I love. Yeah, it does actually. They track all.
Well, I mean, like gauge it together because I don't think there's. I didn't notice it saying you're 55% complete with the entire game. It's more like you're complete.
I think they did.
Ubisoft do that with everything. I think.
Do they?
Yeah,
I didn't notice.
They have that sort of thing with the completion percentages.
Well, I might be mistaken,
it's kind of the thing is everything. Like a lot of games are breaking themselves down into like progress bars, and Ubisoft are kind of leading the way in that one.
Yeah. Well, honestly, the online stuff, the PvP stuff, I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, that's something that surprised me as well.
I was like, who cares? And I started playing some of them, and they're actually pretty fun. I mean, maybe not necessarily balanced
and intense. The one where you have to pretend to be an NPC, which was basically taken out of Assassin's Creed. but without all the killing. Like, and you have to like keep your look on them and hack them. Like, that's actually pretty good and super intense.
Yeah, that one gets. I haven't done that one a whole lot, but yeah, that one can be pretty intense. I lost one because I didn't realize you could hide in cars, and the guy was like hiding in a car the whole time. But yeah, and it's pretty fun. I didn't do that one a lot. I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was interesting, but I think it's kind of lacking because you can't do things like you can't sit down on benches or anything like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things you can't do, and it makes you look pretty obvious if you're just like standing around amongst other NPCs. So
the worst
you
part
lose
about
signal if you sit down.
yeah.
The worst part about that online mode is that if you're on a motorbike and you start it, as soon as you start looking for someone, get off of that motorbike, and then there are set spawn points for people who are also joining your game. So you can basically just get out an assault rifle and then look at the spawn point, and it will always spawn other people who are also on motorbikes because they think, oh, he's going to be riding around on a motorbike, let's make it fair. And so you can basically just camp a spawn point and instantly win.
Well, I got the last time I did it, I've only been the invader once, and basically all I did was I parked my car like in front of another one by the street, like how they're always parked, and then like hid in my car. And the person actually did run around for a while, and I even saw them hack a camera next to me, and I like used the blackout to kill the cameras.
Nice.
And eventually they went back around, and I was like, should I drive off or am I just gonna hang out here? So
that's the intense moment that I like about it. It's like, did they see me? Did they not?
Find me, and I ended up killing him because the thing came is like, don't kill him. I'm like, screw that noise. So I like killed him.
See, I like that they say that you're not allowed to kill them because otherwise it'd just be essentially just get out a rocket launcher and then kill them. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that would be too easy.
Yeah.
But
I think they can kill you though. I think that's how they have to win.
Right. Well, yeah, and the other ones I've played, the one I think I played the most was the Decryption, where your team has to hold it until it hits 100, and then whichever team has it when it hits 100 wins. That one seems pretty. It's fun, but it's broken. Like I don't really care if I win or lose because you can hold like your team can hold it for 0% to 99%, but then if the other team kills and then gets it back for that last 1%, they win.
Oh, that's okay.
So it's like. I'm assuming you get points based on like just how you do overall.
Yeah, they have like leveling up points and rep points and crap, but no one cares enough about that. So yeah, right. I get you.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but overall it's just fun. Like if you just go in and just say, look, we're just gonna have fun. I don't really care if our team wins or loses. It's a lot more fun, and they do things to try to make it balanced. So, for example, you think, oh, well, I'll just get the hack or I'll get the file and I'll drive around. Well, the problem is if your enemy drives near you, they automatically start downloading it from you. They don't have to kill you to get it. So you can't just get in a car and drive away and just keep driving and get away. That's cool. It's very easy for them to get it back if you're just trying to drive around.
I'm just glad that there's like an open world co-op thing, though. That's really enjoyable with a bunch of friends just like running around killing civilians. It's like, hey, this lady's like a kindergarten teacher. Whoops, not anymore.
Looks like you kids have got a substitute this week. But yeah, and like I say, so I've enjoyed that. I didn't do much of that, but I've actually considered going back now that I beat it. Once you beat it, you can still keep playing, which is cool. I like when they do that.
Same.
And go back and doing those. And yeah, like I say, there's a lot of stuff to do. And some of the stuff does get pretty repetitive. Like the actual hacking where you're lining up the little bars to unlock things. That gets pretty old after a while.
Yeah,
that's so much.
A lot of hacking minigames have that problem, and I don't think I've ever found any hacking minigame that is actually really good. The closest is actually probably Bioshock 2's with its QuickTime event. Ugh.
I don't remember that one that well. I hated the Bioshock 1 pipes.
Oh yeah, the pipe dream. Yeah. Well, Bioshock 2 has like this little needle that you need to line up in the green section.
Yeah.
And if you lined it up in the blue, Yep, you remember now.
That one was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, because it's over quickly, and the best part is that it doesn't take you out of the game. It doesn't pause or anything, so you can still be hit while you're
Right.
hacking, or you can still shoot enemies while you're hacking.
Could you still shoot them while you were hacking?
Yep,
think so.
I've drilled people while doing it because the weapon is
that's
in your
awesome.
like left hand, and the drill's in your right hand or a plasma. I forget. You need to play
Reading
Bioshock
an
2.
ebook. I got a Kindle in one hand and run around drilling people with the other.
Yeah.
Interesting sight. But yeah, I definitely liked it a lot. I can get a lot of people being angry
in the,
that
that's in the iPad version. You just hold up
Oh,
an
okay.
iPad while you're shooting stuff.
No.
Oh, I'll hack this with my iPad. I suppose you wouldn't really need to iPad.
Speaking of iPads, Vertigo, have you actually tried out the companion app for Watch Dogs?
I have not. Does it work with the PC version?
Yeah, it works with all versions. It's a bit glitchy. Tried with the PS4 version to sync it up, and it's okay, but it's not really important.
Isn't that the multiplayer iPad thing?
No, I think you're thinking of The Division.
No, I mean on Watch Dogs you can do these races where someone is using like a mobile device, like an iPad or iPhone, or I think maybe Android, I don't know, and they have like basically a map view of where you are and what you're doing, and you got to go through checkpoints, and they can call in police and do like roadblocks and stuff.
See, I knew that was in The Division. I didn't know that was in Watch Dogs. That's interesting.
So basically, you're going from checkpoint to checkpoint in a race, and they're trying to stop you by activating points on the map to put like barriers up for you to burst. What you call them? Like the manhole covers, and send cops after you and stuff. Isn't that what that is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that once where I was the racer. I didn't know that was the person controlling it was doing it from a phone or whatnot.
Yeah. I mean,
It's cool.
yeah, I've never tried the phone bit of it, but doing it on the
A lot of games are getting that stuff.
on the
It's
console is
weird.
pretty fun.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
Vertigo. Sorry, go ahead. I'll bring it up later.
But I did try the mobile app with Dead Rising 3. That was pretty interesting. The way you can mark stuff on the app and then have it show up in the game like immediately. Stuff like that's pretty neat when it's integrated. It's not like system seller or anything like that, but it's still,
It
kinda
seems
cool
like
and-
people are trying to do the Wii U gamepad better than the Wii U gamepad. Huh.
Pretty much. They just don't want to have their own.
Yeah, because it's
Because
super
when you have your own
expensive and everyone
hardware-
already has one.
Right. Well, first you have to have your own hardware, and now if you include it, now it's kind of like developers are expected to use it. Kind of like with the Wii U control or the original Wii controls. It's like, well, we put all this trouble into these controls. We expect your game to use it, and then a lot of times they were rubbish.
Yeah.
How often do like the trackpad on the PlayStation controllers? Do we know if they're integrated into games a lot, or if
Yeah,
mostly just
it's basically the select button.
Oh,
You can click it in, and that's because Share now exists, and that can't be used as a button in game. Developers have just replaced the select button with clicking the touchpad.
so
Basically,
Okay, so
if a
no,
game uses the select button, it's it'll just use the touchpad. That's basically it.
okay, so that was useless to include that, wasn't it? Really?
Hmm.
Anyway,
It does allow for like more buttons essentially, because you can like click the bottom left side of it, click the top right
Oh,
side
right.
of it. So that's
okay.
useful, but aside from that, yeah, it's a bit meh as of right now.
Okay.
The coolest thing I like about the PS4 controller though is the light bar on the back, because I put a sticker on it which makes it the Batman signal, and that's really fucking dope.
Jesus.
It's so cool.
God. But yeah,
So
Watch
you
Dogs,
could get like a torch to that effect. Like you could get a Batman torch for
you
less.
make your own little bat signals all over the house.
No, see, but I bought it from eBay, so it's cooler.
You could have put like a little bat thing over the hole you kicked in your wall that time, and then when
That
the
would be
sunlight
pointless.
streams through, it would just have like a little bat signal on your floor.
Only bats could get through because they're the only thing that could fit through. So it gets rid of all the bugs. It's genius.
I don't see how the bats could get through, but the bugs won't.
No, because it's a bat-shaped thing. And then they...
Oh no, I don't mean the hole would be bat shaped. I meant like a bat sticker over the hole.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the
I'm
whole...
not sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I
still.
don't think
Oh.
so.
No.
Okay, well, like, the sticker
No.
I have for the PS4 controller is just a
Nah.
piece of, like... It's
No,
just...
I'm not feeling it.
Okay, let's move on. Vertigo, actually. Let's go back to Watch Dogs. I noticed you tweeted out something about the police chases being annoying.
Yeah, I really hate the way the police chases are done in that game.
Me too.
First of all, when they try to find you, it has those yellow circles that open up and then they fill up, and if they fill up while you're in them, they find you, which in theory is a good idea, but the problem is
it's super intense the first time through.
Yeah, but after that it feels pretty
and it's just annoying.
Very, they're just spawning them everywhere.
And it feels very unfair. Like, you can't find a spot to avoid them. Unless you're in, a Ferrari.
Or
you
pretty
much have to pick up, a blackout and use or blackouts or jammers in order to get away. It's just really, really annoying. It's like, I don't even bother avoiding them. And near the end, I was just like, if they started to scan for me, I just drove normal. And if they got me, they got me. If they didn't, they didn't. Because it was such a pain to try to avoid them. So
Here's how all the police chases went for me. They found me? Okay, well, I'm going to go to the ocean now, see you there. Because they have no water police at all. And it's so stupid that they don't have them. Literally, the only thing that can find you is a helicopter. And you have an upgrade that disables them for 30 seconds. So you just look up, hold down Q, and then you just drive off. And then they're like, well
looking up is harder in that game than it should be.
Well, okay, so what you actually do
right
is...
above you, you can't even see it.
Yeah, so what you actually do is... You get out of your boat, you stand on the back of it, you look up for about 10 seconds, and you're like, where the fuck? Rotate the camera, then you hold down Q, then you run away.
Yeah.
And then you just hack the plane on his back.
It's so weird that they don't have water rats. So weird. Hopefully for Watch Dogs 2 they'll have it.
They'll have what?
Water rats. Police in the water, on the water.
Oh, is that?
I hope they fix the overall chase, because they're hard as hell to lose, too.
Yeah.
Because once they spot you, they just keep spawning cars. They just happen. Kind of the old. I mean, they've done this forever, but with all these types of games, where as soon as the cops are spotted, suddenly every other car in the city is a cop car, and it's like, oh, you just happen to run into a barricade that they set up 5 seconds ago. So
I like to think of it as the Blues Brothers effect.
I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't either. But I just laughed because I think I've seen a trailer of it, and there's tons of cop cars chasing them at one point.
On an unrelated note, I'd like to thank Dan Aykroyd for sponsoring the channel.
Thank you, Dan Aykroyd.
Thanks,
You're
Dan.
always a legend in my eyes.
Yeah, number one, Dan.
I love Dan Aykroyd. But anyway, yeah. So overall, I think Watch Dogs was really good. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Bless you.
There's just a ton of stuff to do.
Well, it's Twitter official, so you can't take it back now.
It is official now, I guess. But it's just tons of stuff to do. The story's good. I actually enjoyed the story. I
wish there was more Geordie.
Who?
Geordie?
Yeah, Geordie was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's the best.
But yeah, the story was cool. I actually enjoyed the story. I liked some of the little things, like the privacy invasions. And then you could it was interesting how they could tell interesting little stories just by what was going on, but also when you hover over them, like finding out what their occupation is or whatever it says about them, kind of figure out what's going on. So there isn't a lot of them were supposed to be just funny or just really weird, but there was some pretty serious ones in there that were like, wow. It's pretty hardcore.
It's like one thing is like Japanese enthusiast or something like that, and then there's another that's like HIV positive. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. And there was one in particular. I don't want to spoil it, but long story short, it had to do with cancer and how the family was dealing with it and the financial situation, and it was pretty hard. It was pretty rough. It was, like I said, the actual video was maybe 30 seconds, if that. But like I said, you kind of hover over them and see different things, like the person was working 2 jobs or something like that, and it's like I say, it's kind of gives you a good view of what people actually have to deal with in these situations that you don't really hear about. But I thought it was really cool. But yeah, overall, and there's a lot of little things too. Like, for example, when I went the vigilante route, so there was the good side, the light side points version, and people would say stuff, and one guy I saw, he actually was like, "Oh, that's the vigilante." And he takes his phone out and takes a picture as I was driving by.
Did you disable his phone?
You should have. No pictures.
What's really cool about getting the good side points is that people will be less likely to phone the police if they see you doing stuff.
Right.
They'll be like, oh yeah, he's a good guy, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
They'll
They
just
still
tweet
get-
about you.
Yeah.
They'll still get mad when you steal their car, though. oddly enough.
Damn it.
Not
It
again.
does seem to be. I wonder how much harder it is to not go that route, because there's many times where I was running around and I couldn't find a car, and I really needed one, but I didn't want to steal one because I didn't want them calling the cops or giving me bad points or whatever. But it was interesting to play a game like this too, where I didn't just steal a car whenever I wanted it. I
Couldn't
actually
you
kinda
just
thought,
spawn
like,
in a
well,
car?
You can, but
Oh, but not in missions.
sometimes they spawn them pretty far away.
Really? I always found they spawned them pretty close. Oh well.
It depends.
It
where you are.
is a
Some areas
random
in
like
particular.
number generator, so I probably just got lucky.
But yeah, overall,
Every time.
really good.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend it. Especially if you're the type who likes those types of games, and if you're the type who does a lot of the side things, or especially if you do all of them, I'd say up to full price, it's totally worth it. But
Yeah. I bought
That's totally
the
gonna break
Super
our
Duper
rule.
Collector's Edition, and I have an Aiden Pierce figurine on my shelf, and I like the game.
and the DLC is supposed to be coming out this year too, soonish.
Yeah,
which
I
I'm
got the
interested in.
season pass. I think it's hard to tell. So many versions of it.
Hard to tell. But I'm gonna break our rule and say that I also played Dota 2. Not
Oh
gonna talk
my
much about it.
God, you rebel! We've got
I know.
we've got
That didn't
16
happen.
minutes left. We were
I'm
doing
out of
Officially, that
control.
didn't happen. Nobody knows.
I'm out of control.
Okay,
But,
let's go on with Dota 2 and how we're going to lose you to the Dota machine.
Now, I was just gonna say that overall, I think it's interesting how they're trying to get new players to learn the mechanics of the game, but it's very boring. Like I think they need to spice it up, because I played Dota 1 a lot, like years ago, but then like I wanted to kind of refresh, and I did like 2 of the tutorial missions, and I was like, okay, this is really boring. So I just hopped into some games. But
Did you get yelled at?
It's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, I think I played 3 or 4 games, and one guy like lost his shit, and so I was, of course, making fun
And you're
of him
like,
the whole
I don't
time.
know how to play. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing playing then?
And we're even playing like a mode that tend to favor new players, and it wasn't even like a ladder match or a ranked match or whatever they call it. So I'm like, why are you so angry? Why are you so mad? But
Why?
anyway,
Why
it
you
was
have
fun.
to be mad? It's only a game.
Most people were fine though. Like for what
That's
it's
good.
worth. Most there's like the one dude was being a.
It seems like a lot of massive online battle arenas have horrible communities. I don't know
these are
why.
Probably the worst communities. Period. Outside of Xbox Live.
I hear fighting games are pretty bad about their communities, but like MOBAs seem to have it way worse.
Fighting game communities have other problems. It's a little.
Isn't it like super sexist? Weren't they sponsored by some
they've had
porn
some
company?
issues. Yeah, like they had this one issue in a nutshell where there's this female who was playing, and one guy was like trying to smack talk, but it was all like really creepy
Sexist stuff, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you should like play with your top off or stuff like that. And like she obviously was super uncomfortable, but like he didn't like pick it up, so he just like kept going. So like, and what made it worse was later on they were just kind of like, well, that's just kind of the fighting game community. It was like, that's probably something you might want to look at in the future. But I mean, they had that. Other than that, I don't know. But what's funny is, ironically enough, if this is truly ironic, is that the fighting game community in general is very diverse, like regional, racial, across the world, geographically. It's very diverse. But that one little incident has showed some serious problems. There's definitely not many women competitors currently.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's very diverse. So it's kind of bad/sad that one incident came up as well.
Yeah, slowly it's opening up, isn't it? Because they're finally, getting it through their head that they don't really need separate tournaments or anything. They can just play in the same ones.
Yeah.
Which was the latest one to do that?
Wasn't it
It was
Blizzard?
this year?
I think Blizzard did Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
I think they made it so that there's like a male tournament and then a female tournament, and then later on they were like, okay, there's a female tournament as well, but females can compete in the male tournament if they want.
I heard something about that. I think that was that particular place, and I forget what the details were, but yeah, that was pretty stupid.
Yeah. Chess does it as well, apparently, having a male league and a female league.
My understanding of that with chess is that they have your normal league. Like it's whoever wins is grandmaster. Doesn't matter, male, female, doesn't matter. But they also have a separate women-only tournament. But if you are a woman, you can't participate in both to keep it fair. So like you couldn't win both, for example. And it was an attempt. My understanding is it was an attempt to say, okay, look, if you're really, really good in chess and you're comfortable with the community or whatever, go for the full on tournament. But because it tends to be a very male dominated sport, hobby, whatever, I guess they had issues bringing women in because it was so male dominant. So they said, well, we'll have a female tournament so that, we get more women involved, more, so it feels like a safer, more comfortable environment, I suppose. And then, as they get really good and as that community grows, eventually you won't need it, right? You probably won't even need something like that. They'll just do away with it and they'll just have a chess tournament because they'll have, close to 50-50 participation, right?
Yeah, that was like a good model.
Yeah, at first I didn't like that idea, but when it was kind of explained how it worked,
sure.
I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. At first it seems like it's going to separate them, but when you say it like that and give the perspective that there aren't that many females, so giving them a specific light to shine on them, it'll help that, it'll give them the, I don't know, photosynthesis bullshit stuff to make it grow.
Yes,
that
it
stuff.
will give them photosynthesis. It's what it will give them.
Well, I was working on a metaphor. Shut up. It's 6:41 a.m. I've been awake for ages.
Just do film references. Say something about Ghostbusters. Dan was very insistent.
Okay. Ghostbusters.
We're allowed to say that Bill Murray's performance was lackluster and that he carried the film, though.
Ghostbusters 3 was really good. The video game one.
Yeah. Solid work from Dan Aykroyd there.
Although Bill Murray in the video game was really rubbish, though.
Nope.
See, I'm saying it's bad.
Who? Oh, Bill Murray. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even. Sorry, I had to do that. I got Dan in the other ear. Okay.
Okay, so that's enough of Dota.
Is what we started out.
We weren't even really talking about it, but yeah, that's all I want to throw out that I was playing it. That I got sucked in.
Hopefully, we don't lose you.
Basically, all you did throw out. We didn't give you much of a chance before we slammed the track change lever.
That's pretty much the way it always works.
Yep.
I'm just imagining a flash forward to VGL podcast number 70 or so, and it's just Vertigo's yep, playing some more Dota.
Don't really play much games else other than that.
I don't think he would end such a sentence without saying, boy howdy.
Been playing more of that Dota too.
There we go. Vertigo's back.
My phone got work waiting for me to play after the game.
Let's go on to the news. Maddragon, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You haven't been saying anything at all. TellTale's The Walking Dead Season 3 has been announced at Comic-Con. What do you guys think?
Surprised?
Vertigo, you've played it, haven't you?
I have not played Season 2 yet.
I haven't played Season 3 or 2.
Season 3 is not out.
This is probably making them a lot of money. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But the worry is that it goes downhill like everyone claims the TV show did.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if this is the case with Walking Dead Season 2, but I certainly noticed that The Wolf Among Us was a lot shorter than Walking Dead Season 1.
Really short. So,
yeah. So there's
it's 90 minutes per episode now, and there's only 5 episodes, so it's not a very long game. The TellTale games used to be about 10 hours or 15 hours, something like that, and now it's significantly shorter because they basically got rid of the puzzles.
Yeah.
The most
kind of sad because if you were going to strip something from the game, I don't think it should be player interaction.
Yeah, definitely.
The puzzles weren't that bad, were they?
No,
and also
really.
The detective work in The Wolf Among Us and stuff like that seems a bit pointless, really. I mean, you just click on 3 obvious clues, oh, there's this blood stain. Oh, there's this trail
detective
of blood
stuff
into this room.
It's hard to do in video games. I think.
Well, yeah, but
because LA Noire had the same problem. Because then they were what they did to get past if only the interactable things are plot important, then they'll just spam the button until they find the answer. Then you've got the LA Noire problem of you just randomly pick up a pile of trash and then you look at it in like incredible detail and you're like, maybe this banana peel was a murder weapon.
He's like investigating Mario Kart murderers or something.
Yeah, so
he just like looks up and he can see across the street in like an apartment complex just the whites of Luigi's eyes, and then he closes the blinds. And the lightning flash, and he never sees him again.
So yeah, Walking Dead Season 3 announced, probably going to be like 20 minutes long if they keep making their episodes shorter.
Well, I wouldn't mind if the first season was that long, but you can see where they're going with it now that the subsequent games are shorter.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll do a Season 4.
What the hell are they doing announcing more Walking Dead when they've got a Game of Thrones IP to be working on?
And Borderlands.
Yeah, well, fuck that. I mean, like...
Does anybody really care
the best
about
thing that
like,
Borderlands TellTale game could be is if it's the shortest TellTale game ever and only lasts like 3 hours.
I'm more excited for the TellTale game of Borderlands than I am for Borderlands the pre-sequel, to be honest. Because the pre-sequel just looks bleh. Look, it has the Revelations problem of, oh look, another.
Yeah.
If they could mix up the classes a bit, I think if they could really make the classes stand out and just be way different, then I think it could be. It's like I played Borderlands 2 with some people, and I played like a Melee Zero, and that was fun because it was different. Like it was normally a sniper class, but if you build it right, you can like kind of do almost permanent invisibility because you kill stuff and increase your invisibility, and you do extra damage when you're coming out of invisibility, and you get bonuses after you've killed somebody, so you can kind of like chain kill enemies while you're invisible. It was definitely different than playing a normal sniper. Or,
yeah, that's actually something that Borderlands has been really good about, how each class has basically 2 classes that they can be. Like Roland in the first game, he could either be a medic or just a first-person shooter sort of guy with a turret. And that basically applied for like all the classes. They all had 2 different types of things they could specialize in. And I don't know how they're going to be able to do it for the pre-sequel, since it just looks more like Borderlands. It just looks like Borderlands 2. Like, the visual change from Borderlands 1 to 2 was significant. Borderlands 2 looks gorgeous, and Borderlands 1 in comparison looks like dog shit. But then Borderlands, the pre-sequel, just looks like, is this DLC for Borderlands 2? I'm not sure.
It's just more of the same, really.
Exactly.
It's just the game they're putting out in between whatever work they're doing for Borderlands 3.
It looks like, along, It looks like this is just going to be their sort of, like, you guys... I think this is going to be their Batman Arkham Origins for the Borderlands series.
Season 3 or Borderlands? Oh,
For Borderlands.
So Borderlands, the pre-sequel is going to be the Origins.
Yeah, because it's a prequel. Because every third game in a series is...
faults that you had with Arkham Origins, I forget.
No. It's just like, it seems like every third game in a series is a prequel. It's weird.
Oh god, it is. Metal Gear Solid.
Devil May Cry. Deus Ex.
Oh my god, it actually is.
Break the circle. Break the circle.
Assassin's Creed 3?
Oh god, even technically Bioshock Infinite is.
Yeah, Bioshock Infinite, yeah.
Yeah.
Set in 1912.
There's other reasons, but
yeah.
Let's
move on to Bravely Default, which has sold. Or is we're all good to move on to the next topic?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of a third game that isn't a prequel. Oh, Walking Dead Season 3, probably.
Maybe. Well, 400 Days was a prequel.
No zombies. It's like 20 minutes long.
Leads up to the zombies.
Yeah.
Bravely
Somebody's
Default.
Just like, should we walk over that rickety bridge? And they're like, no, that's dangerous. He's stupid. Let's just go on the road.
The end.
Yeah.
So Bravely Default, Flying Fairy has sold 1 million copies, 600,000 in the West and 400,000 in Japan. Maddragon, you're probably the most experienced. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I like it. It just shows,
I need to pick it up.
Default Oh, you do. It is a really good, especially.
I hear it's a lot like Final Fantasy. Like
it's
good Final Fantasy
JRPG. So like for all the earlier Final Fantasies before they moved into like Final Fantasy 13, so it's turn-based.
You own it, right?
Like Final Fantasy 7. Oh yeah, I own it.
How far are you into it? Because I hear Chapter 5 is really bad.
Not that far. Not that far into it. A couple hours in. But
are you okay? So you're not in Chapter 5 then?
No, I'm not nowhere near.
Yeah,
Chapter 5, but
I hear that the game is awesome until Chapter 5. Then Chapter 5 comes along and just punches you in the face and makes you wish you were playing Lightning Returns.
Oh god, no! It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad.
Well, I heard it from the internet, and I don't think the internet partakes in either lies or hyperbole.
Of course not.
So,
but yeah, it's really good. If you like you're saying, you're really enjoying Final Fantasy 7, you probably will enjoy Bravely Default as well, because it's a proper like old school JRPG that Square Enix has built its fan base up on, and not like the really crappy shit that they've come up with. With
well, I need more stuff to play on my 3DS anyway, so might as well.
But yeah, the fact that it sold more in the West as well than Japan
just shows that there's an audience for it, and they weren't going to localize it, I think.
No. And there's also the second one is coming out in Japan sometime next year, I think, as well.
Hopefully that gets localized as well.
Yeah. Well, with the numbers, they probably will.
They'd be stupid to. Yeah. Oh, it's Square Enix.
No, Square Enix.
All right, so
they'll tell the studio to start it, and then they'll close down the studio halfway through the project. And
send them a cease and desist
to the audience and go, "Ha, ha." Yeah, they're fans. Yeah,
seems like something they do. So, moving on to the next topic. Katsushiro Harada is making Tekken 7 easy to approach because Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was too difficult to learn characters. Has anyone here played Tekken Tag Tournament 2?
Yes.
No.
Nope, never been a Tekken person.
Maddragon.
Yes.
Would you say Tekken Tag Tournament?
Expert.
Yeah. Well, this thing I put in here specifically because it seemed like something Maddragon would have things to comment on. What do you have to comment on about Tekken Tag Tournament 2?
I wouldn't really say I found it all that difficult to get into, because I don't know, because I don't know how they can make it easier, because Tekken, since like say number 3, has been specifically going in a certain direction with the type of 3D game it is.
Well, it seems like they want to pull a Street Fighter 4 for Tekken because Street Fighter Third Strike, that was really complicated because they had like this parry mechanic and all this other weird crap. But then with Street Fighter 4 came out, it got like back to basics, and it still added mechanics, but it was just like way easier for people to pick up and play, and it became like one of their best-selling games, or best-selling Street Fighter games since Street Fighter 2 on the SNES. Which is still like one of Capcom's best-selling games ever, by the way, which is crazy.
It's like, I'm more familiar with 2D fighter games, like Street Fighter and stuff like that. But
yeah, Guilty Gear, all that.
Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Persona. But how
I don't think of fighting games, but yeah. When you say Persona.
Oh, Persona 4 Arena?
Yeah, I know. It's just like when you say Persona, though, I don't think of fighting games. I think of like S-Link and crap like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see how they're going to make it easier to approach, unless maybe it could be like toning down stuff, maybe. Because
I'm not sure.
Tekken is a big thing about it is the comboing and the juggling, which
it was the first game to introduce juggling.
Yeah. So you got your standard 10-hit combos and stuff, but then you can go beyond that if you know how to play the character, and it's just like
maybe they'll remove juggling because that's something that really makes it difficult for new players to pick up. Because if you're a new player and you start playing online and then you just get juggled to death, you're not going to be like, oh man, I got to learn the new moves. You're going to be like, fuck this game.
I
It's
think
broken.
it was Tekken 6. I bought that on 360, also PS3, either one. And I went online with it, and that's exactly what happened. As soon as I got into a match, I'd get some guy who's played, Tekken competitively for years, just juggling.
Yeah.
With,
I think
just
Killer
one
Instinct
combo.
has that same problem where it's just way too easy to combo people to death.
Yeah, but within Killer Instinct, you got ways to get out of it from what I
It's the
know with the game.
combo breaker thing.
That's about right, yeah.
That sounded exactly like the announcer.
Thank you.
Yeah, combo break. That's the Australian version of the game.
It was. Some games actually do that. They give the people in the games Australian accents to help make it more relatable. The last game that exactly. The last game that I remember doing it was the last SOCOM game by Zipper Interactive or whatever.
They also do that
it's so
in the
dumb.
US with pretty much every British TV show ever.
Yeah, they
because
fucking did
whenever
it
we
with Mad
export
Max.
TVs
Like, fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we just get better versions, like The Office, for example.
Oh, yeah.
It's different.
Actually, to be fair, I've not seen the British Office, but I want to watch it just to rag on it.
Well, the pilot of the American Office is the first episode of the UK Office, but Americanized, so I don't have to use short words or whatever.
It's been a long time since I've seen the pilot, but
Yeah.
I'm sure if they made an American version of the IT Crowd, it would probably be pretty awful.
They made an
they
American version of
did.
the In-Betweeners, which looks atrocious.
They did make an American version of the IT Crowd. It was with Joel McHale. It was terrible.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What were we...
Tekken is difficult. That's it.
Tekken is difficult. There we go. EA has a subscription-based service available for Xbox One for $30 per year. It will give you the latest titles such as FIFA 14, which actually isn't that recent, to be honest. Peggle 2, Madden NFL 25, and Battlefield 4. Once a game is in the vault, it will stay there unless there are licensing conflicts. We'll only put Xbox One games in the vault.
Peggle
There's EA
2.
access. So yeah, $30 a year, Peggle 2.
Yeah, worth it.
There's something up with this. There's got to be some hidden catch to it.
Oh,
It's a subscription service. Oh, also, something I forgot to put in there. You'll get 10% off of all digital pre-purchases and stuff or pre-orders if you have an EA Access subscription.
So they'll be 10% closer to being worth the money.
Well, it's just EA does have a lot of games that I enjoy, but I don't know if I'd actually subscribe to this. Well, I mean, I wouldn't because I don't have an Xbox One, but even if it was on PC or PS4...
if those are the titles that they're offering anyway, it's kind of like the trash that they spout annually that I'm not even remotely interested in anyway.
Well, Peggle 2 is not annual yet.
That's true.
Thing is, it doesn't really add up. I mean, $30 a year. That's like half the price of one of those games.
That's a Sims expansion pack, basically.
It doesn't add up.
Actually, a Sims expansion pack is more.
Oh, my mistake.
A stuff pack is $20.
Yeah,
your stuff pack.
One and a half
my
stuff
god, EA.
packs. There we go.
Oh,
I
that's depressing.
wonder why people are so suspicious. I'm guessing that, for all Xbox One titles now, every 10th frame has to be the EA logo.
I can see this being really good in, a few years because of the vault. That sounds like a really good idea. Imagine
I suppose if
having...
you buy in early, then yeah, what's a licensing conflict, covered by?
Well, I mean, that's... They said, that's something I wrote down as a licensing conflict. Basically, yeah, essentially. How Activision lost the rights to do Deadpool digitally, and now that's off of Steam, PSN, and all that, and you can't purchase Marvel vs. Capcom anymore, stuff like that. So those are the licensing conflicts. So if they were to do another James Bond game, and then they are we lost the license, they'd take those out of the vault. Wait, Activision has the James Bond license.
a license to kill.
Kill off good companies. Wait, that's EA.
Well, EA is kind of Activision, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, I just hate the name EA Access because there's so many okay, I don't know if it's just me, but Early Access, EA, and EA Access, just like all of these things get used so often in like my little area of the internet that it's just annoying me how so much stuff seems.
Bedroom.
Yeah,
People,
dude.
yeah. Who are working
But it's just
now.
there's so much EA related things and all of it's terrible. Should we go into the Steam stuff?
Wait. You've missed out a big important part of that EA Access thing.
What?
The fact that Sony has come out and said that
Yes!
they're not doing it.
Thank you, Maddragon.
Good catch.
Yes, Sony has basically said...
Someone's putting in some effort around here.
Good, Maddragon, you deserve a promotion. You are now promoted to Maddragon.
On the TeamSpeak server. That's probably the recording, hasn't it? Oh well.
Yeah, so Sony has basically come out and saying that we do not believe that the EA Access subscription provides good value to the consumer, and so they said no. So that's why it's Xbox One exclusive, which is really interesting. What do you guys think about that? VT?
I think it's
to be honest,
obviously a BS excuse.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
hard to say the sentence EA Access Xbox One exclusive without throwing up a little inside my mouth. I don't know. I kind of assume I like to think optimistically that somehow Sony took the high road by refusing to use EA Access.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously there's the thing that we don't get to see about EA Access is presumably the thing that they are hung up on. Obviously we don't seem to be getting the full story because otherwise it seems like a fairly cut and dry case. But yeah.
The thing is, it's the most probable reason would be that it sort of conflicts with Sony's PS Plus as well.
Yeah, that's true, and more than likely, I mean, this is EA, so
yeah, it's
the thing
half
is,
the price of the PS Plus, and it might make the instant game collection look less appealing.
Yeah. The thing is, though, it's how is this going to affect PS Plus anyway? Because probably EA aren't going to want to put their games into PS Plus now, you know?
Yeah.
A month or so ago, we had Dead Space 3 and stuff. I mean, now we're probably not going to...
Oh god, you're not going to have Dead Space 3?
I know.
Well, what? They got absolutely fine. I just remembered it's going to be fine.
If anything, I'd say it would make PlayStation Plus look more appealing. So the Sony should allow it.
Be hit hard if EA becomes fully Xbox exclusive. I mean, we're jumping into a huge field of maybe here or unlikely of an enormous meadow of unlikelihood. But if EA Games kind of did they didn't want to be on PSN and they were kind of more plugged for the Xbox, given that they have the EA Access deal on it. FIFA is quite a driving force between console purchases and BF Battlefield and stuff like that, because there are people who just play those games, and that accounts for a lot of sales. So I could see EA trying to sort of outmuscle Sony.
Maybe EA Access is a leftover from when EA was more heavily supporting Microsoft, and Microsoft was going to do the whole online DRM thing. Since this is a online only thing, you don't get retail purchases or anything like that. So it seems like maybe it's one of those leftovers, because EA was never going to support Sony if Microsoft was the king, like they were, sort of the king last generation. Or at least king in the markets that EA actually cares about, because the Wii didn't exist for them.
Western markets, sure.
So they do the whole online game thing, because they were doing Titanfall, EA, Microsoft exclusive. What is it? Plants vs Zombies: Garden Warfare, Microsoft exclusive, and then now EA Access, and it's also Xbox exclusive. But then they realized that they sort of started betting on the wrong horse, and I imagine this is probably going to come over to the PlayStation console eventually, or it's just going to be a failure and completely just vanish. Because, I mean, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is on PlayStation now, even though it was originally an Xbox exclusive. Well, Microsoft exclusive, it was on PC. And Titanfall 2 is apparently rumored to be on PlayStation as well. So
there's going to be a Titanfall 2.
Of course there is.
Well, I don't know. I didn't realize it was that successful.
It actually wasn't.
It seems like it's pretty done.
So that's probably why it's going on multiple platforms to cover the cost of development.
I suppose, yeah. The thing is about EA right now is that we've been listing their games for a little while, and I'm starting to wonder if there's like a single game of theirs that I particularly care that much about.
Mirror's Edge?
No, I didn't like Mirror's Edge.
That's basically it.
Okay, then. Yeah, I can live without this. This doesn't affect...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it didn't affect me to begin with, but it affects me even less now.
EA has a lot of games that I used to care about, like Skate and Dead Space and all these other games. And then they just sort of got shit.
Dragon Age,
yeah.
Oh, Dragon
BioWare.
Age, yeah. I haven't played that yet, but...
That's probably the only one which I actually
BioWare.
can think,
Damn it.
off the top of my head that I care about right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be kind of interested in that, I suppose. Oh, there you go, EA. You've done it.
Well, Dragon Age 2 was bad enough that I'm going to wait until I hear from actual players who didn't like Dragon Age 2 if they like 3. Because there's actually crazy people out there who like Dragon Age 2. Is good.
I hope Inquisition is good because it looks gorgeous. Like the gameplay
look
trailer looks amazing. It's the best use of the Frostbite engine that I've ever seen because it actually has fucking color.
As long as it's not like dumbed down,
Yeah.
Like EA have done with Mass Effect. That's what I care about from EA as well.
Drink Mountain Dew to replenish health, sort of thing.
Is the new Mass Effect 4, or is it like...
It's not Mass Effect 4. You said that they were fussy about it and they got angry
but I mean,
to call
like,
it Mass Effect 4.
When is it
What new Mass
set? I don't understand. They announced
It
the
could be the
Mass
same
Effect.
storyline. Like Lord of the Rings: The Third Age was quite a fun turn-based RPG.
I think they said
it's not going to do. It's not going to be about Shepard. It's going to be set in the Mass Effect universe, but be a different.
That's what I mean.
Story.
The comparison I was making still applied.
I don't get your comparison.
Well, it's a game, and it was set in the Lord of the Rings universe. The events were unfolding with a whole different made-up bunch of people at the same time as the
All right, I get
the
you
main
now.
cast.
I have to say, I think some sort of kind of related note that I think they do correctly with the Metal Gear franchise, where you've got games in the same universe, but they have their own subtitles. So you have like Metal Gear Solid. That's you're going to be playing usually, Snake and doing that type of stealthy gameplay. But then you have Metal Gear Revengeance, which, while an awful name, I
think you mean best name.
Raiden. It's not like it's again same universe, but you're in the same universe and just a different type of gameplay, a different type of characters. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
because
that is
like,
the best way.
You have Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. It's like, well, now this... I totally can understand wanting to make more games in that universe that you've created and not even have them necessarily, connected in a way. But now they've kind of got themselves in the pickle. It's like, well, this fourth Mass Effect game is going to be called Mass Effect 4 by a lot of people, at least for a while, until they go, okay, this is Mass Effect Revolution or whatever the hell they're going to call it.
Assassin's Creed have finally buggered it up as well, because they always used to have new numbered game meant a new character, and then subtitles, new numbered game, which meant a new character, subtitles. This new game is just a subtitled new installment with a new character, so there's like the one semblance of a pan that went into their naming of games.
I don't get it.
Now gone.
Okay, so it's Assassin's Creed 1.
5 is too many.
Assassin's Creed. There's Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, then Brotherhood, Revelations,
then Assassin's Creed 3, then Assassin's Creed 4.
You're forgetting the DS ones.
I don't count the DS ones.
Okay, well, there's Assassin's Creed 3, then there's 4, then there's 3, and then there's 3 Liberation, which then later got turned into just Liberation. And
Yep.
and then it's 4, and then you'd think, oh yeah, it'd be 5 next. No, it's Unity.
So
And then there's
playing
what is
Metal Gear.
Rogue
Don't think I didn't
6?
hear the alarm going off, Maddragon.
I know.
You cheeky
It's not
bastard.
me.
No,
It's
it was my
not
phone.
me.
It was
Oh,
my
it's your
phone.
phone. Oh, cool.
You know what?
Nice.
When I started to play Thief, the new one, and I was like in one of the first sneaky parts. My alarm, the message went off on my phone, and I immediately was like, "How did I get spotted?" And I was like, "Oh wait, no, it's not right. Wrong game."
Speaking of subtitles, like Vertigo, you brought it up. It is a good way when developers do that, like Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Rising. The worst is when they do, I think it's Rambo, when they go like True Blood Rambo, and then it's Rambo 2.
First Blood, and then First
And
Blood
First-
Part 2, and
Yeah.
True Blood
And then
is
they
that
create a new
vampire
different
TV
series, but it's a sequel. Then they start numbering the sequels to the sequel.
then they stop numbering them.
Yeah.
Then they
Oh,
just start
it's terrible.
calling him Rocky. Confuse people.
Yeah.
Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Balboa? I don't think that's a Rome. Whatever number. Next topic. Icebear, take it away.
Steam Beta update changes the Steam client skin, and Source 2 is soft launch with Dota 2 modding tools.
Yep. So a while ago there was a leak that basically showed off Source 2 files, and in the Dota 2 modding tools, those files were found, and they're all listed under directories called stuff like Source 2. And Gabe Newell said in an AMA that Source 2 will all be about quicker user-generated content, and that's for basically the purpose of making the Dota 2 workshop, which is going to be used with Steam Workshop and all that, basically a bigger thing and more active. So they want to bring like modders back into the scene, I guess, and get them used to Hammer and all that jazz. So yeah, Source 2 is coming out, and the games that were rumored to be in development from the files that were leaked are Half-Life 3 and Left 4 Dead 3, which, whatever. Half-Life 3 is happening, you guys. Get hyped.
Actually, I
God,
have a tweet
no.
from the Is Half-Life 3 Out Yet account from today that says no.
Well, it's not out, but it's in development. Is there a Is Half-Life 3 in development account that keeps you up to date? Because
No,
if there
you follow the
was,
same- well,
it
doesn't
would say
matter.
yes.
I mean, obviously they're probably. There's almost definitely working on it to some degree. Probably
Yeah.
Source 2 was the first step.
Actually, apparently they've been working on it on the first Source engine. Well, not the first Source. That's Gold Source. On Source, and apparently they're now
They make it so it
importing
doesn't crash
it
when you
into
alt-tab.
Source 2. I hope so. I
Maybe
also
that's
hope
what
there's
they've
no
been doing
loading
for,
screens.
the last 6 to 7 years or whatever. They've just been, reducing loading screens and trying to make it not crash when you tab out. That's what that project has been.
Can't believe it. It takes so long to...
Years of research.
Although, actually, you
led
know,
to this.
like, Half-Life actually doesn't have loading screens, like, in the traditional sense. The game just stops for a while, and then it starts again.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
It
the
doesn't have
entire
screens.
world is just one big level that they've just split up into chunks.
Mm.
That's how they develop it. Because like apparently I remember on like one of the documentaries about Valve that's how they designed the first Half-Life. It's just one big massive level that they split up into tiny chunks that can be loaded into the RAM.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so Source 2 is a thing, and Valve will be at Gamescom. Are they going to be announcing something big? Yeah.
No.
They might.
Source 2.
Yeah.
Dota 2.
It's weird, though, because people have been finding out, like, not tweets, but, like, random AMA answers Gabe has given and stuff like that, all about Source 2. And it's like, he's always been talking about this like it's a totally already announced thing. Valve is so weird with how they announce stuff. There's no, like, big... Like, compare like how fucking Sony announced the PS4 to how Valve announces games and stuff. It's just sort of like, whatever, it's up. And then people are like, it is? I didn't even realize. Alright, so, next news topic.
Crytek.
Yo, I swear to God, I do not intentionally keep putting them in the news discussions, because it seems like this is like the third time in the row.
Like, he knows some guys who trade on the stock market, and he has a way of bringing Crytek down just so that we have news to discuss for every podcast. He's like, I haven't hit Crytek. We didn't even talk about them last time, so we haven't hit them in a while. Let's take down 2 studios. So, I'll read out this bulletin for the sake of, I don't know.
You're the host now.
Yeah, you don't get the satisfaction of reading it having...
I'm fine, my mouth is dry.
This fine company. Crytek Austin, formerly Vigil Games, developers of Darksiders, and Crytek UK, formerly Free Radical, developers of Time Splitters, are closed. F2P third-person shooter Hunt.
Free to play.
Gilded Age. What did I say?
F2P. I just wanted to make it clear what F2P is.
F2P is free-to-play. Free-to-play third-person shooter Hunt. Horrors of the Gilded Age. Being developed by Crytek Austin. Will now be developed by Crytek Frankfurt. Homefront IP is now owned by Deep Silver, and newly founded Nottingham-based Deep Silver Dambuster Studio will be developing Homefront: The Revolution. Dambuster Studio is comprised of Crytek UK and is headed by Hasit Zala, the director of Homefront: The Revolution.
So yeah, basically Crytek UK is Dambuster Studio.
Which is Deep Silver.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Deep Silver is now Crytek.
Which isn't that bad, to be honest. I mean, it's a shame about... Oh, wait. What's happened to Crytek Austin? Is there any help
shut down.
for Crytek Austin, or are they just straight up shut down? They're not being incorporated into anything else? Or
I don't think they're being bought out, but I think they might be working on a new indie studio or something. I think I read somewhere that they might be doing a contract work with whoever the hell owns the Darksiders IP now and trying to make a Darksiders 3.
The quest for the Darksiders IP.
Well, they want to make 4 of them, and they're like, fucking Christ, you guys, we're gonna make all 4.
If you're gonna make 4 of them, then why don't you make them like less than 500 hours long, and then it'd be easy.
Well, the first Darksiders was like 8 hours. And the second one was like, oh, it never ended. And then the third one, it never began. But yeah, Vertigo, Maddragon, what do you have to say about the Crytek horrors?
Yeah, I really followed that much, so I can't keep
up
with the different companies that do what, so I'm just kind of like,
It's
whatever.
the fact that they have so many different names that are based in everywhere that are former versions of other studios that is kind of a little tricky to keep up with. Like, I do a pretty damn good job of memorizing the entire named character, arsenal of the Game of Thrones series, and I don't know shit about who owns who in this.
Crytek is like the weirdest company ever because they have a ton of studios. Well, they did anyway before they had to downsize. But then you look at the games that they make and you're like, the fuck do they even do? They have like, are they just making Warface? Is that it? Ugh.
Hey, Homefront.
Oh yeah, which is no longer theirs.
Well, they did for a little while make like 1 or 2, and a free-to-play third-person shooter. They probably should have thought about that more. The free-to-play genre might not be the best one to dip into during a time of financial crisis.
Well, Warface is free-to-play.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that's something that the CEO of Crytek said, that the reason why they had to basically do this stuff is because they're in a generation transitional phase, and they are getting used to games as a service where they will be focusing more on free-to-play games. And so
no, don't say that's the next generation of gaming.
Yep.
Don't say that's the next.
Well, it's
generation
Crytek, so of course it's not going to be the next generation of gaming.
Well, this is true.
Crytek
off to a shaky start if Crytek is the future of gaming, but yeah.
I swear it was the CEO of Crytek who also said that photorealism is required to enjoy a story in a video game.
Oh, so
It's like-
that's why they're struggling. So there is a potential that the CEO is just batshit insane, and this is why bad things are happening for Crytek right now.
Yeah, and it's just, it is insane how wrong Crytek is and how out of touch they are, because I was reading some of the reports Jason Schreier, I forget, of Kotaku was posting about Crytek, and he was doing interviews with members of Crytek, and they were basically saying how they are just angry at the CEOs of Crytek because they are not getting paid, and they consistently not getting paid, and whenever they bring it up they're getting it's later, and then they're getting a big long spiel about how it's for family and stuff like that, and they're riding up in their Ferraris. And in an interview, the Yerlvat brothers or whatever, the CEOs, they're like, people are so as soon as you're even a little bit late with their paycheck, they're already up in arms. And it's I wish people would understand that we at Crytek would like to keep everyone together as a family and not fire people. Isn't that better for us to be together rather than you be greedy and want to be paid on time? He didn't say it like that, but that was basically the gist of it.
Well, yeah, there's no way of really sugarcoating that, but
he's a douchebag.
Obviously, I hesitate because it's Kotaku, but I suppose if it's an interview, then it's possibly a reputable enough source, seeing as they haven't been sued yet by a company that would be desperate for the money. But yeah, that sounds pretty atrocious.
I hope everyone is everyone who is employed by Crytek, I hope they're looking for other jobs, because I doubt they're going to be in their current one for much longer. And if they are, and if they're kept as a family, it'll be unpaid and as a slave.
Be interesting to see where Horrors of the Gilded Age goes if Frankfurt goes down.
Yeah.
Deep Silver. Deep Silver. That's not
Nintendo is in pretty big financial troubles, or somewhat big financial troubles. But
haven't
the
they
first
got,
thing
money
that
in the bank?
They do, but they actually spent a bunch of that money already on reacquiring the Yamauchi shares that were sold. And that cost them a couple billion dollars, by the way, not yen.
That they can sell.
Anyway. But yeah, so one of the first things that they did, one of the first things that they do whenever they're in financial trouble is they completely cut their CEO's payments. And Miyamoto, Satoru Iwata, and all these other big guys, they all had their pays cut in half or more. And that is fucking awesome of them, just so that they can keep paying everyone else.
Nintendo has its head screwed on in that way. But then again, there is kind of a skew towards Western countries as far as the pay gap between CEOs and middle
the average Joe,
corporations. Although it's horses for courses, because obviously, it's horses for courses.
Yeah, I saw so they're like, hey, we're riding up here in Ferraris. Everything is great. What's that? You're not getting paid? Just a little longer. Crytek are dicks.
Crytek. Well, not
all of Crytek, specifically just the CEOs.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure all the people in Crytek who aren't the CEOs are actually really nice.
Actually, the odds suggest, because they have so many studios and presumably so many staff, that some of them are actually unpleasant.
Okay.
It's just well, get
in comparison, at least,
room,
I'm sure they're very nice.
And then see if they're all really lovely people. Probably not all of them. So don't be too sad.
I'm sure they'd be nicer if they were getting paid on time.
Yeah, that's true. There we go. Should we move on to the next topic?
Yes, Maddragon, this is for you.
Yeah, this is not at all for me. Go for it, Maddragon. I'll look at this PDF. I hope it has pictures.
Maddragon, you read the topic.
What's the point? You link to PDF that's in Japanese.
You can use the Google Translate thing.
I really doubt that this is going to help.
Whatever. Gust, developer of the Atelier series, and the upcoming No Surge. There's so many fucking Japanese things this podcast. I don't know how to pronounce any of them. Will be merged with Koei Tecmo. What do you think about that?
Good. A lot of the Gust games, they have been published by Koei Tecmo anyway, so the fact they're merging, is going to be good for them. Hopefully it means we can get more games, like
Yeah,
localized, and
they actually
probably
said that
faster,
in their press release that they do not have any plans to stop or change the IP or the direction of the company, and they're just basically going to be purchasing them so that they can share the resources and tech secrets and stuff like that. So it seems like a very beneficial thing, since they've basically already been like a joint thing for years.
Yeah,
I actually have a direct quote from the release, if you'd like to hear that.
I would.
Okay. With regard to every one of game fans, the new high-end quality to offer as a result of the merger, I think you can expect to TellTale meant. Continue this ahead on, I say, give me a patronage which is not changed to the Gust and Koei Tecmo games Masu below.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's basically what I said.
I should mention it did go through Google Translate. That's basically what they had to say on the issue.
Yeah. So,
Hopefully,
seems like going off of Crytek, which is bad news, to some good news like this, where it's like, yeah, nothing is bad about this. It's good. I like the good news, don't you guys?
Good thing has happened.
Even it out.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Koei Tecmo as well, they're pretty good with localizing games, for the West as well. I mean, they do Dynasty Warriors. Like I was saying earlier, they did Toukiden,
and they're pretty good about release dates as well, at least as far as I'm aware. Like, they're not like, this year we'll release in America, and then if Europe's lucky, maybe we'll release it in there. And if we do, maybe we'll region lock it, because fuck you.
Yeah.
They region locked Persona 4 Arena. Fuck, it took them years to release it in Australia, like 2 years after the rest of the world got it. Just because of, like, why?
Is the same as well.
I could go on for years.
Not only was it delayed for it was like a year before we got it in the PAL regions, but then it's like they region lock it so you can't import it as well. Which
that's
just
dumb.
Why?
Apparently it's because like the Japanese yen was really weak at the time, so if people imported it, they'd get it at super low prices and they'd be selling it at a loss and all that stuff. But
it's usually imports are usually always cheaper than buying it most of the time.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I guess that's why. But it's especially true here. I buy all my games physically from basically the UK.
Yeah, that's true. I remember. What did I send you?
I don't know, but I'm glad you guys live in a
physical copy. I just bought it and it was delivered to my house and I had a key and I gave the key.
Oh yeah, Prey.
I don't know why I got it in my head that I mailed a game to Australia.
Well, you sent me the code, so it's close enough.
I did the minimal effort thing.
Yeah, so thank you for that, by the way. We should do Prey for the channel. That'd be awesome.
Oh my god! Wait, do I own that? Do I own it?
I think you do on Xbox.
Because I
yes,
have
I own it on Xbox.
How did I know that? Fuck.
Oh god. I haven't played it as well. I've only played like a few hours of it.
How long have you owned
years ago?
Yeah. Raven knows you haven't played it. It's fine.
Of course I haven't played it. What do you take me for?
Yeah, well, yeah, to be
fair,
Some
sort of gamer?
Yeah.
I don't buy games to play them. They just sit on my shelf and look nice.
Hyrule Warriors will have no online multiplayer, local only, and Ganondork is a playable character.
Yep. And so
is the earlier parts surprising to anyone at all?
Well, the Dynasty Warriors has always had like online multiplayer, so it kind of is.
This is Dynasty Warrior. This is Nintendo Warrior. Dynasty.
Well, you see, but like even the other like reskins, I believe, have had it, like the Gundam Warrior thing and the One Piece Warriors and all that, like which are just Dynasty Warriors but reskinned for a different theme. Like I think those have had online as well. Yeah, so it seems weird that it would have like online multiplayer. Or no online multiplayer.
Yeah, it's a bit strange considering the last one I played was 8 Complete Edition or whatever it's called on PS4, and that had multiplayer and stuff, co-op and things. So the fact they're taking away the multiplayer, I mean, I don't see a reason why they would.
Because all their games seem like reskins, so if anything, it'd probably take them more effort to take it out than put it in.
Or maybe it's got to do with the Wii U.
The Wii U.
Online
yeah, probably, because a lot of games actually on the Wii U don't have online. Like, Batman Arkham Origins on the Wii U doesn't have online at all.
Wait,
A lot of
Nintendo
online?
have often quite specialized with like local multiplayer, haven't they?
yeah,
That's
but
kind of
I thought that
a
was just like
thing.
Nintendo as a company and like their philosophy, not so much as that they have no idea how to do online to the point where third-party studios are looking at it and they're like, you know what, just forget about it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they do in many senses seem like they're stuck in the, like 20th century rather than the 21st.
Yeah.
Which, sounds like a ridiculous statement to make in 2014, really. But they're behind the times in a lot of senses.
They
It
are.
wouldn't surprise me too much for, that to be the case.
Well, if I remember correctly from a developer interview, they had no idea what PSN or Xbox Live was, so...
How can they say that?
Yeah. Apparently, there's like this whole thing where
I think they were surely they were trolling at that.
no, apparently it's like some sort of Japanese thing where they're like, because we work for Nintendo, we can't play the competitors' products or look at them or anything like that, and so it would be disrespectful. So they just didn't look at Sony or Microsoft at all. Well, Microsoft not looking at Microsoft in Japan isn't difficult, but yeah, so they were like, whatever. Local multiplayer is great, isn't that right? Also, is anyone else going to the arcades? We are. Just, yeah. They're out of date.
It must be awkward for them to like just call each other on their Nintendo phones.
Dude,
Like some sort of plug-in for the Game Boy Color or something.
No,
that
they
just contact
have
each other with.
they have the Wii U gamepad to do that. That is an actual thing. You
Yeah,
can
the
call
video
other
call.
people on the Wii U gamepad, and the Wii U gamepad has a camera in it, so you can have their face on your TV while they use the Wii U gamepad as like a webcam sort of thing.
Oh.
That's an actual thing. That's how they probably call people.
It is pretty good as well. I remember trying that out for the first time I got a Wii U.
I
And
didn't
then
try it
never
out
used it
because
again.
I don't know anyone else who has a Wii U. Well, I know Vertigo has, but we need to play Mario Kart 8 still. Maybe then we can
Yeah.
FaceTime each other.
Oh, that'll be great.
Well, it's worse for the workers because I mean, they're like, "Oh, how's the Nintendo brand coffee today?" And then like, "Oh, less gristly than usual. It's not so bad."
Oh my god. Yeah. So Ganondork will be playable. So will the antagonists of Skyward Sword, not Demise, the other one, and so will the antagonist from Twilight Princess, not Ganondork, the other one.
Didn't they? I remember when we had a really slow news week or fortnight, and you mentioned one of the characters that would be on Hyrule Warriors that none of us had heard of until you Googled them, and even Google wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So basically, they've scraped the barrel for this because they didn't have.
Well,
enough
see, it's
people.
because Nintendo is so like stuck with tradition that you don't have many villains. You have Ganondork, and then the rest of them are just sort of like, oh, here's a new villain. Actually, no, psych, it's actually Ganondorf. Because that's literally how it always goes. They have one antagonist that they build up throughout the entire game, and then in like the one random 5-minute section, they completely destroy the entire character, make that boss character a boss rush sort of thing where you have to remember what item you used, and then you kill them, and then it's like, oh, and by the way, here's Ganondorf, or Demise in Skyward Sword's case, because he's the original Ganondorf, and that's when Demise decides to curse Link, and that's why Legend of Zelda is so samey, because it's generations and stuff.
Oh, like a Bioshock Infinite kind of thing.
Kinda. Except way dumber because it's Nintendo and they have poor writing. Which is amazing since so much of the game is just reading text. You figured, and so many of the previous games have just been reading text. You figured they'd get good at it by now.
Well, hey, at least they're ahead of Capcom.
Maybe. But it's a close race. It's a close race.
That's a fight. I kind of want like a... Not quite an epic rap battles of history, but like just like a script off between the most unique of Capcom and some really obscure Nintendo stuff as well.
Yeah.
That'd be impressive.
So yeah, the full cast of Hyrule Warriors has been announced at this point, by the way, so no more playable characters will be revealed. There's like 13 characters in
does
total.
That mean that we're just going to have to really fish around for news now? Because looking at it, we only got like 12 more items to get through.
Well, I put the Hyrule Warriors thing on there when there was like, looks like it's going to be another slow news fortnight, and then it's like, nope.
But this is like the 10th point that you've put on here. What the hell?
No, I put the rest of the stuff in front of it later on because I was like, oh, actually, this is a bit more important.
As much stuff on the other side of it. What Hyrule Warriors was like the benchmark for the news, and then you just put other stuff either side of it.
Yes.
God. Bioshock 1's been announced for the iPhone and iPad.
Has anyone Okay, the actual reason why is because the 2K CEO has said when it becomes technologically feasible to put one of our games on the iPad or iPhone, we will do it. So in a few years, literally expect to see Bioshock Infinite on there.
He's looking at a tablet and he's like, shit. Oh no, wait, no, it's not like a begrudging commitment that he's carrying out. He's actually interested in doing that. I suppose if at that point it's like if it's a similar, I don't know how it is to port from like an iOS version of Bioshock to a different iOS that's on a portable device, but
well, it can't be that difficult because I think it's an Unreal Engine 3 thing, and I think Unreal Engine later updates of it got really good support between iOS and all that because Epic has that Infinity Blade or whatever thing, and that's a big iOS focused game. So it's obviously a focus of Epic. So I imagine it'd be somewhat simple to port. Obviously, I'm not a programmer. It's probably super complicated.
I'm pretty sure it's really easy. They're just dragging their asses.
Yeah. It's just the drag and drop port to iOS button, right? Just put it on low graphics, press port to iOS, and you're done.
My God, it's not that hard. Just put it in your iTunes library. Just drag the files into there, and then it's fine.
But Bioshock on iPad and iPhone.
That's interesting. It'd be interesting to see if gaming really does take off on those platforms.
Well, they have the Nintendo controllers.
Would be just distraught if they'd ever heard of iPhones or iPads.
Oh yeah. They hear about iPhones and iPads all the time because their stock. The people who have their stock, they're all like, "What the fuck? Why aren't you putting your games on iPhones and iOS and stuff like that?" And they're like, "Because we don't want
a Nintendo phone."
Yeah.
See, with Bioshock on
with their Wii U.
iOS now, it's like, why don't they just put that on the Vita as well? It would be a good...
Because 2K doesn't like the Vita. That's why... And I guess because...
I really hate the Vita if it's putting it on, iPhone, iPad, but not
They cancel... They had a Bioshock game in development for the Vita, and then they realized not many people are buying the Vita. Final Fantasy Tactics, it was a news post we had before.
It's like, the Vita is more than capable of playing a game on there. And looking from, the screenshots of Bioshock 1 from that Eurogamer link, it looks pretty dumbed down from the original release,
I imagine it'll just have fewer graphical options.
Yeah, that's basically it. It just looks... Yeah, it looks like... Actually, it looks worse than low settings.
Well, I've never had it on low settings because
a lot of
I'm not a filthy peasant, so I don't know.
A lot of the lighting is gone, which is just terrible because a lot of that is what makes the atmosphere of Bioshock and Rapture come to life.
Is it atmospheric on an iPad, though?
Not really.
No, because it's like the input is your hands in front of you and stuff.
It supports the controller for iOS.
Shit, especially, what's his face? Dramatic bloke.
Jim Sterling?
That guy.
Yahtzee?
Hephaestion?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Like that. No, just the guy in Bioshock, the one who's at the
I think in a review or something.
I can't remember his name, but yeah. That screenshot looks particularly bad, but also reworked. I don't recall that scene being there, so they've obviously changed some assets.
It might be a bull shot.
Kind of looks like a Source game, actually.
I think that's offensive to Source games.
Have
you played
Half-Life defending Source 2? Games?
Oh wow!
I played Half-Life. I played.
How long ago?
Source.
A
while ago, but
okay. We need to do that for the channel. You're doing that, aren't you?
Maybe.
You're doing Dishonored and The Wolf Among Us and Half-Life 2.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, you're doing it right now, actually.
Yep.
Which is very, impressive.
This is all going to be on the audio for that, so don't bother commentating over it. We'll just have, okay.
Yeah, so the Resident Evil Remake HD Remake has been announced for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PC, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. What do you guys think about
that? Yeah. I mean, if nobody's going to release anything for the next generation of consoles, then why the hell not?
Why not just remake everything?
Yep. Go for it.
Seems good to me.
Mm-hmm.
This actually annoys me because I literally, Maddragon, I was talking to him a while ago and I was like, should I buy the Resident Evil remake for Wii? And he was like, yeah, get it. It's great. I was like, okay, I'll spend the $28 or something like that, whatever it costed, and I got it. And then as soon as the day after I get it, it's like, we're announcing a remake and it's gonna have crazy great graphics and it's gonna be remade in full 3D and stuff, and it's like,
Wait.
It's being remade in 3D, I think, but it's still gonna have fixed camera angles.
Oh, so they're getting rid of the pre-rendered background. So
as far as I'm aware, I believe that's what they're saying.
Right, that sucks. Because the pre-rendered backgrounds are part of what make the remake look really nice, because they're really, really detailed, atmospheric.
Yeah, because they're pre-rendered, they can have more detail in them than they otherwise could on the GameCube. Because the GameCube version actually looks really good.
I know, it still stands up to today, so.
But it's still in development. It's coming out in 2015 or something like that. I forget. So it's a while off.
Yeah. So this is the alternative, basically, to backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
It's just re-releasing remakes. Yeah.
So that's it. It's going to be great. Speaking of new games, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It's $60 and includes all DLC. It's a brand new IP, you guys.
Yep, exciting title. Xbox One fans are going to be particularly, predisposed towards it. I'm particularly looking forward to it. Octupling or more in size on the PC because, it's like £5. If you pay more than £5 for Sleeping Dogs, you're doing something wrong.
Actually, I paid. What was it, $50 for it? And it's because I purchased it day one. I pre-purchased it. It was a really good game.
Pre-purchase is actually surprisingly good for you.
Yeah, it's Square Enix. They're actually pretty good about that. So that's why I pre-purchased it. I wasn't even interested in the game. I was just they're actually charging me a fair price. I'm going to buy this to show them that I support this practice.
I remember ages ago, there was an error on Steam or something where it was 90% off. And I managed to get it for 80 pence or something like that.
Nice.
Nice. It was just. I still have yet to play it though, but.
It's a good game. I actually got all the achievements on it, and I rarely do that for games.
That's going to take a while in a game. It's quite a long game from what I heard. I know Vertigo did a Let's Play on it.
Yeah, I did too. Come on.
No, he wants the good ones.
Oh. Yeah, I got 38 hours on Sleeping Dogs. That's 100%ing it and doing 2 of the 3 DLCs, because the third one I think is just a battle arena. And I'm talking about DLCs with story, not the ones that just make you God and give you infinite money and cars and stuff like that, which are bullshit and lame and ugh.
But yeah, it was fun. I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I agree with Vertigo. It's fun. I liked it a lot. Now I'm interested to see how it'll be when it's the definitive version, since apparently the version I was playing was crap all this time.
Yeah, basically, thanks for feeding back your experience and stuff, but just so you know, it doesn't count for shit, because...
Yeah, because it was not the definitive,
Yeah,
I haven't really played Sleeping Dogs.
Edition, the incomplete edition.
The alpha, essentially.
Yeah.
Anyway, more new games. Ryse Son of Rome, the definitive edition, coming to PC, includes all DLC. It's not actually called the definitive edition, but I just put it there because might as well.
I might actually pick that up, maybe. I heard it was pretty mediocre.
Apparently, it's coming to Steam, so I might also pick it up since it's coming to Steam. Because it's the first Crytek game.
I wanted a game in that genre that was like set in Rome because I quite like that period. It was like
why not just play Rome Total War?
No, that's a strategy. I wanted an RPG, and
it's not an RPG.
Oh, I know that now.
Oh,
but what I wanted was an RPG. And yeah, no, it's like a quick time event extravaganza that managed to embody quite a lot of what was wrong with the next generation of gaming, conveniently in time for the release of the next generation of consoles.
I remember back when Kinect was a big part of Ryse, and that's why it's exclusive, because the Kinect will make the game and stuff like that. And now it's coming to PC.
Oh, of course it will.
Yeah.
Because this was initially announced as a Kinect-only game, then it got delayed until the Xbox One launch, where it became, just a regular horrible beat-em-up.
I would say that this was a launch title for the Xbox One. So basically this embodies how useless and pointless the phrase console exclusive has become.
Yeah, exclusives aren't exclusive at all anymore, basically.
No, not at all. It's happened so many times now that it's basically pointless. And what's funny is that it's like, okay, so it's like up to 12 months late coming to PC with that. But then what have you got coming in? Resident Evil and Bioshock 1 and
they got
Sleeping Dogs.
The brand new game, the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh god, yeah.
Which is actually, in comparison to all these other re-releases, is actually a really good way to do it, because it's got Halo Anniversary 1, 2, it's got a port of 3 and a port of 4, so that's 4 games for $60, versus like Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, which is just 1 game for $60. And that's like, if you're gonna remaster a bunch of crap, at least, remaster a bunch of games for the same price.
If you're gonna remaster a bunch of crap, make sure it's a whole bunch.
Exactly, though, because like The Last of Us HD and all that, like, okay, that's whatever, but if it was like an Uncharted trilogy, like, that would have been really awesome. But yeah, so lame to have single re-releases being released at full price. Like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition on PS4 was like $110. Yeah.
So yeah, don't buy Ryse. God, it was awful.
No, you should buy Icebear. You and Dante need to play it for your channel.
Me a free code of Ryse. I'll play Ryse for however long I feel like.
So the installation screen.
Oh god, how big is that install file going to be?
Oh, it's massive on Xbox. And
yeah, well, of course it's massive on Xbox. That was
it's going to be even bigger.
There were no other games on Xbox. Why would you occupy your hard drive with anything that wasn't Ryse? Yeah.
I find it hilarious that the two biggest, like in terms of gigabytes, games of Xbox One are coming to PC. Like Dead Rising 3 had a 13 gigabyte update. That's just an update. It's not even the game.
Oh god, that must have been awful.
It was, yeah.
Console owners are like, I've got 2 games. I can only install one of them at a time, and this one's got a 13 gigabyte update.
Yeah. Does Microsoft have their proprietary hard drives or anything like that? I think they do.
They did on the 360. I would be
that's going to be so annoying. So they're basically stuck with a 500 giga. That's going to be so annoying in like 3 years. Or like a half a year when you can have like 4 games.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to put games on anything other than proprietary hard drives. You can copy media across using USB ports and storage devices, but yeah, that's not really saving you any time. So yeah,
that's ridiculous.
We'll just watch proprietary.
Mm-hmm. Evolve. Do you like video games? Do you like new video games? Do you enjoy waiting? Because that's what you're gonna have to do for some video games. Because Evolve has been delayed to 2015.
As far as I'm concerned, like everything is just a stopgap until Mountain Blade 2 anyway, so sure, why not? Stretch some stuff out into 2015 for me, why not?
There's so many games that have been delayed to 2015, it's getting ridiculous. Assassin's Creed, does anyone want to say anything about Evolve being delayed, or are we basically all in agreement that 2014 has no games and everything's 2015?
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. I imagine that next-gen console games might sell better next year, to be honest, because, I don't know, more games released, more people buy the console.
Actual games will be released that are new?
Yeah, that might be a kicker. I don't know. I haven't been following Evolve an awful lot, to be honest. Has anyone been interested in Evolve?
The last time I heard about it was at E3 when we did that podcast. It was so long. You seemed excited for it at the time. It was it was the Left 4 Dead thing made by Turtle Rock.
I wasn't that excited. Yeah, I
thought in comparison to the rest of the podcast, at least stood out somewhat.
Well, it was at the start of the podcast. That's why. It's because we weren't 4 hours in at that point.
I don't even know how long we are in this. We're going pretty long on this one.
Yeah.
We need to speed it up. Okay, so Evolve 2015. That's rubbish.
Creed Rogue announced for PS3 and 360. Play as a Templar. Play as a Templar.
I'm getting it.
You know, this is again. It's like, oh, why would you have backwards compatibility? That's silly. Let's just release new games for the old consoles because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to be like a Splinter Cell double agent thing where Assassin's Creed Unity is going to be rubbish and Assassin's Creed Rogue is going to be the best game, because Double Agent on the original Xbox, which I hate calling because I always used to call it the Xbox One, but now I can't fucking do that. Yes, Double Agent on the Xbox original was really good apparently, but Double Agent on PC, PS3, 360, and basically next gen, which is now last gen, was rubbish. So I wonder if it's going to be something like that happening again, because it is Ubisoft, and they're crazy. So I'm looking out for it. Probably not expecting much, but hey, might be decent.
It might be decent, I think. Yes,
I'm very optimistic.
That's pretty upbeat. You wonder who's been working on this all this time, and if it's just late.
Maybe. Or they realized that Ubisoft, they didn't realize that the next gen consoles were coming out this year. They're like, fuck, guys, we messed up on our scheduling. Let's just release 2.
It's probably wrong, because I think Ubisoft are kind of like Russia in World War II, in that they realize that they have millions of souls to throw at a problem until it goes away. So, I imagine it'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll be an okay Assassin's Creed game. There you go. Gen.
Well, I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed 4. Like, I really fucking enjoyed Assassin's Creed 4.
Still haven't played that one. That's
it's
a good one
great.
To install. I'll install that at some point.
Maybe you should watch Dante's series on it. He looks like he's having.
Play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fucking good. It like the reason I'm doing my Assassin's Creed Brotherhood Let's Play is literally because after finishing 4, I was like, I want to play some Assassin's Creed. I could play 4, but that game's like 100 gigabytes. And that's the only thing that's stopping me from reinstalling it, because it takes 7 years to download. Ugh.
Yeah. Mario Kart 8 Mercedes-Benz
Mario?
DLC trailer. No, I said Mario. Your ears are just wrong.
Mario. Whatever.
Mario Kart 8 Mercedes-Benz DLC trailer. 3 cars shown off will be added for free with an incoming patch. Will also improve online stability and will put the game's map on the TV.
About time that the map has been put on the TV. It's been like that, like the map is on the TV.
The Wii U controller
gamepad
for the map.
Yep, yeah, and because it's got a local multiplayer focus, if anyone else is playing with like a Wii remote or a Wii U Pro controller, exactly. And the Wii U gamepad, it shows them what items you have, where you are, and all this other stuff.
A lot with that game because it has the steering wheel attachment, which has been used with Mario Kart since the Wii.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's so stupid that it took them until now to put it on there, because it's just a fake way of giving value to the Wii U gamepad, because no one likes the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's so pointless.
Yeah, making dependence isn't the same as like ingenuity. If yeah, that's they did a dumb. But hey, they eventually fixed it. How long's the Wii U been out? Oh no, Mario Kart 8 been out rather.
It's only been out for a few months, but it should have been there at day one.
It took a few months. Well, it should have been, but
look, like Nintendo is actually doing
Nintendo
that a
don't
lot.
Usually fix things that quickly.
Like you're actually true because the Wii U eShop.
I'm actually true. I'm obviously true.
You're actually correct. I meant.
I'm actually correct, as in you're surprised that I'm correct, or like
yes,
you're correct
because you don't play Nintendo consoles, so you're.
I know. If I said it loudly enough to make it seem like it was an established fact, even though I just pulled that one out of my ass, so just
whatever.
What you should have done was carried on as if like that was normal. Oh yes, Icebear with another valid point on something to do.
Well, Icebear with another valid point. You're correct as usual for yourself.
You had to stall before you inserted actually there. Just your incredulity is undermining my presence. All right, carry on. Mercedes-Benz DLC is that?
No,
paid,
hold on.
Just out of interest. Okay.
What? Sorry. What? No. Go ahead. No.
Hold on. Now go ahead. Which is it, Raven? I can't do both.
Go ahead.
Is the Mercedes-Benz DLC paid?
I think some of it is, but there are 3 cars that will be free for everyone to use. But some of the DLC is paid.
Honest, that's the kind of DLC that I'm like okay with because it's just tacked on like bullshit that you buy if you like. I don't know. You had more money than
if you want more carts, but the carts really don't make that much of a difference in Mario Kart, so what's the point?
Yeah. Like, well, that's the thing, cosmetic things. If people want to pay extra for that, then sure, there you go. I would say it's like Sims, but then Sims also hides 90% of the content behind, I don't know, about $3 million worth of transactions. Australian, of course, it's like $30 US, but...
so
that's okay, I guess. That's actually sounds like all good things to do.
It's an okay way of doing
Kart
it.
8. Yeah, well, no, what I mean is this whole thing seems to be improving the Mario Kart 8 stuff.
Yeah.
Thing.
So yeah, as I was saying, like the Wii U eShop, about you being actually correct. For the longest time, if your Wii U gamepad was, flat, which happens a lot because there's only a 2.5 hour battery if it's being used at all. You couldn't access the eShop. It would say you need the Wii U gamepad to access the Nintendo eShop, and there was no reason why you needed it because everything that you could interact with was basically the same as the Wii shop. And it's like, what the fuck? Why can't I use a Wii remote or something to interact with it when my gamepad is dead? Because I'm always looking at the gamepad, or I'm always looking at the eShop after I've done a long play session, so the gamepad's probably dead because that's literally the only reason why I stopped playing my Wii U, because the gamepad's like, alright, time to pack it in, Raven. And yeah, they finally patched that though, so fucking about time, Nintendo.
There you go. Sacred 3 is crap. That's what it says.
News? Was that a press release?
I think that was a Kotaku article. It was a mistranslation of the Japanese press release, I think.
I was thinking of like linking just their Metacritic page for like the more information on sort of section because it's a bad game. It's just
I think they have that on the box art actually.
it's just a game like Diablo without all the loot and leveling, and that's
all the main
crap.
parts that you want to play that type of game for, they've just ripped them out.
It's a soulless game without the systems.
It's just a 4-player.
Also, you can't move with the mouse. You use WASD, so you can only move in like
for an ARPG.
So you can only move
right off
in a set amount of directions, and it's super limiting. So now you don't have like complete control of your character. You only have like, it's like controlling it with a D-pad. And it's just weird and doing that in a sort of 3D movement space. So it's crap.
Well, that was tied up pretty neatly. Gods Will Be Watching gets Mercy update. Deconstruct team just made a Mercy update available for Gods Will Be Watching, adjusting the overall difficulty and removing the element of chance from all the choices you make throughout the game. There was chance involved? Oh my god. Really?
Vertigo, you should be talking about this somewhat since you were mentioning on the previous podcast.
Yeah, I didn't really see the update because I lost interest in the game.
But yeah, I can imagine why.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't, at least up until the point that I played it, there wasn't a lot of randomness. It didn't seem like it was a specific order. But the thing is, you had to play the game over and over to find out what that order is, to find out what the trick was to beat that area. So, I mean, I guess it's good that's the thing. They keep calling it, people have called this game difficult. And I find that mind blowing. Like, how could this be difficult? Like,
it's a choose your own adventure kind of thing, basically.
Right.
So,
like,
yeah.
Where every page is dead.
I wanted to kind of explore the whole idea of what makes a game difficult. But in a nutshell, I think if you can read a guide and beat the game on your first try because you followed the guide, the game probably wasn't that hard. Because it's certain steps to do to beat the game, unless there's something that's just flat out broken, like you're using.
We could totally do an entire podcast about what is difficult. We could do like a roundtable discussion. That'd be cool. We should do that on a Slow News Week instead, actually.
I'm sure we will, just like incidentally. We won't plan it, it'll just happen. We'll talk about that for 4 hours.
And then we'll actually plan it, and then we'll be like, wait, didn't we do this on VGL number 26?
Right, but like, I don't know, the game was very. And what's funny is like the game actually made references to the fact that you have to play it over and over and over again to progress. And that just felt like very fake.
Oh, I hate that when games realize they're being tedious and they're like, hey, don't you hate how we're tedious? It's very tedious, isn't it? And I'm like, yes, it fucking is.
Yes. Yeah, that's the worst.
It was blatant too, because it was something about these two people having a conversation and he's saying, oh, this thing tends to happen they pretend to behave in this very particular way or particular pattern, and your character says something like, oh, I've only had multiple lives to figure this kind of thing out, like obviously poking fun at the fact that you have to play it multiple times to figure out the pattern to get past that part. And there's so much just slowness in the process of doing the whole thing too, because you have to watch the cutscenes go through again. It was just it was very tedious, and it's sad because the story was interesting and I like the idea of you screw up, oh well, you suffer the consequences. But I found it to just be more tedious than enjoyable overall.
It seemed like a sort of
Vertigo.
It could have been like a sort of TellTale style kind of thing, but with much wider ranging consequences for what happens in the game. Kind of disappointing when it comes to the end result. Obviously, there would still be,
choices in games seem to be a lot like that. It's like you can end up with a ton of different endings, and then then you look at the flow chart of the game and you're like, you don't really get that many endings.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what I gathered from season 1 of Walking Dead, is that basically a lot of people feedback saying it kind of ends the same way no matter what you do.
Yeah, like Ken Levine actually said that he's more like the choices that he put in Bioshock Infinite were there specifically not to like alter the gameplay, but just so that there would be something going on inside the player's head, thinking about what choice will this have as a consequence. Like the picking a different lock for Elizabeth, like it's a bird on one and then there's like a cage on the other. It's like, oh, which one are you going to pick? And I was like, this is an important choice. But then it turns out, nope, it's fucking pointless, just jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems like a lot of games end up having choice as a sort of thing where there's not really a choice and you're just on a linear path. Also, Vertigo, was there like a plane going above your place recently? Because I swear I heard it. Or was it like a lightning storm?
Yeah, it's just started storming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been.
Okay, I thought I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive considering like I've had doors slamming for the last half hour. So
you got a good microphone, I guess, or bad, depending on how you look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to soundproof your room.
I know.
All right, so that seems to be it.
Oh god, it's
for the
over.
podcast.
I mean,
it's over. Yeah, this is so long. Oh my god, this was intended to be shorter than our previous one, but because of all the news, it ended up being like way longer. Oh my god.
Yeah, we had too many news this time.
We did.
Too many news.
So thank you to the audience for listening. If you've made it this far, if you have, then my god, you need to get out more or something. Just kidding. Whatever. Shoutouts, guys. What are you working on? What do you have to shout out? Stuff like that. Go ahead, Icebear. You go first.
I got some exciting prospects with Dan Aykroyd and Whoopi Goldberg going on. This is like a promotional thing for the channel. Besides that, I don't know. Well, I'll probably be reviewing Unrest next. But
do you think they'll be up by the time this podcast goes live, or no?
Oh, no, not even close.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I don't know, just more of the same old stuff. Just in the middle of a load of series. We do have a new one on its way soon. We finished recording Ride to Hell Retribution.
Ooh, what's the new one?
Well, I'm just going to tease you. No.
Oh.
But I consider it still. I haven't played that game yet, so the possibility is still there.
Come back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Whoa.
Can neither confirm nor deny. Yeah, that one I heard. Sounded
that
like
was intense.
It hit a piano key or something like that.
It did sound like that.
Which is weird because they're non-metallic, but yeah, okay. Well, I guess it kind of hit things on. Anyway, Maddragon, what would you like to plug?
Not much going on at the moment, other than maybe a Dark Souls Let's Play, number 2.
And didn't you say you would be starting a new Let's Play or something?
Yes, I do want to start many Let's Plays. It's just getting around to doing them.
A certain one beginning with a Z, then an O, then an E, with a few periods in between?
Yes,
right?
Could be something to do with the Zone of the Enders. I do.
Well, that's revealed nothing to me.
I want to start that soon. Hopefully, I can start that by the time this podcast gets up.
You sold it, and then
Whatever
like the day after, you were like, "I'm buying Zone of the Enders." Like,
yeah, well, I sold it to put towards some rare Game Boy Advance games. And
instead,
then I
you put it to you sold Zone of the Enders to put towards your Zone of the Enders fund, basically. In the end,
no, it was fine.
If you think about it, Maddragon, you ended up acquiring the stuff that you set out to acquire, along with this thing that you sold in order to acquire them.
Exactly. So
I don't think exactly. But okay.
Well, didn't you get paid? Actually, isn't that how you got it again?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why I sold it
from what?
Money is how he got it.
No, from his job, not from eBay.
Yeah. No, I get how money can also be traded.
Are you
for
sure?
Services as well as goods. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a smart lad. You get it. We've established that you're too smart and it causes problems.
So Maddragon's going to be putting all of his games on sale only to buy them back later. So I guess you want to plug eBay listings. Yeah,
basically.
It's like Hardcore Gamer 249 or something.
Yeah, that is actually my eBay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Hardcore Gamer 249.
It's like the Nuzlocke challenge of video games.
Oh god.
All right, there'll be a link to your eBay store in the description.
That's nice.
All right, that goes on to me then. I'm currently doing an Assassin's Creed Brotherhood Let's Play, which would have another part uploaded today, but YouTube decided to be shit and failed to process the video. I was uploading two videos.
People are having problems with that lately.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I've been hearing.
It's ridiculous. I've been on YouTube for like 3 years or something like that. This is the first time I've ever encountered YouTube failing to process a video. I thought they figured this shit out back in launch month. Like, this is some serious...
Maybe the staff at YouTube got incrementally smarter, so they shipped those people out and then left them to their sort of chimp's playground of web design.
The Island of Misfit Toys is what we were going with.
Who called it that?
Vertigo. I put a link to that reference. I put a link to the Island of Misfit Toys show in the description of the previous podcast. So if anyone wants to figure out about the Island of Misfit Toys, go on the previous podcast. But first, listen to the entire podcast then go to the island of misfit toys.
Well, they would have to anyway. Oh, for that podcast. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well. Oh my god. That's like 6 hours of their life. We'll see you on the other side. Raven, is there anything else you would like to plug?
So Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I'm currently doing, would have more uploaded, but YouTube's being shit. I would also like to plug a So Many Me, which a review recently done by Icebear. It was really good. It has some very nice subliminal advertising that I think Activision would approve of.
Yep.
So there'll be a link to the So Many Me review by I keep want to say Sharky for some reason. Icebear.
No, he had no part in that one.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Has he had any part in
using his microphone? So shit. Yeah. Okay. I guess that
okay. There you go. Okay, so it's basically
That's
his
why the
video.
audio is so good.
Yeah. So the review of So Many Me by Sharky will be in the description, since it's his. Vertigo, what are you plugging?
Just my Watch Dogs and Dark Souls 2 series.
You're still doing Dark Souls 2? Or are you still uploading
He's
them?
finished. He's just uploading, yeah.
Yeah,
There was another one today, wasn't there?
Oh, every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every damn day.
But
Yeah, for
ever.
another month and a half or so.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's long.
And you've got a big
That's
backlog
how
of
you
Watch
upload,
Dogs,
like,
haven't
4
you?
videos a day.
Because,
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 ended up being around 140 videos.
Jesus Christ.
Because I played through the game, see.
See, I'm doing that too.
Some people.
Hey, come on! I'm getting the best armor in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I'm doing all. I'm up to sequence 4 right now, and I've 100% synchronized all the missions up to that point for the main story. Not any of the side quest stuff because those are weird. So, Mr. Russia, Mr. Russian. Anyway, that's the end of the podcast.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
No, what we should do is barbershop goodbye.
Ah, this sounds like Boo Boo Zaylers. That's horrible.